That's why. And then they smudge everything. That's pretty bad. Cheese Kids. Käsekinder. What is that damn name? Käsekinder. Archiv. Okay, like Nico extended in a lot of different content, guys. Oops. So let me remove this one. No, not my glasses. How do I? There. Okay. There's a lot of things. Audio? Bodwigs? I have to open up an incognito window. Why is my music playing? Stop it! Okay, let me open this one. This one is actually like a very good video, but you might be a little bit scared. So for everyone who is not into like very sensitive content, you might look away really quick, okay? You might be terrified. I swear. I pressed the wrong thing. Okay, make my shots quieter. Why is it so loud? Holy shit! What is it called again? Why there's so many chromes? Quick actions? I don't understand. I don't understand what the right chrome is. Oh my god, there's a huge fly in my room, guys. It's a humongous fly. Let's see if you can hear that, okay? Let's make a running good shrimp quartet. Okay. I'm gonna turn off the music and the water. Oh, very scary.
Das Wunder von Bern.
Das Wunder von Bern.
Unser Sommermärchen.
Okay, you cannot hear it. Oh wait, you can hear it.
Schnapp dir deinen Fanbonus. Jetzt jede Woche neu in der Rewe-App. Rewe, dein Markt.
Leute, Rewe. Dein Markt. Remember that.
Just under midnight sun.
Okay, I think you should be able to hear that. Let me adjust it really quick. Okay, it should not be that loud anymore. It's set. Let's make it a little bit quieter. I think this one is perfect. Oh wait, there was a really good one releasing, by the way. It was called like Shrimp. Wait, where is it? Shrimp duet? No. With this big shrimp. Where's the big shrimp? Oh my god, I can hear something in the background. No, I cannot find it anymore. There's shrimp song. Oh, that one was really good. Holy shit. With a big shrimp in it. Just wait until the big shrimp appears, guys. That's gonna be insane. Look at him. There he is. Ooh. That's insane. I cannot believe this. Oh! Sorry, I'm doing some stuff in the background right now. I cannot believe. Oh! He's hitting that note. He is hitting that damn note. Now, crazy. I cannot understand such beauty.
Did you like that big singing shrimp? The
What?
jumbo
What?
shrimps are now available-
Wait. That was wait. What is the good one too? Let me play another good one actually. Space shrimp, shrimp duet. I love krill miku. Krill miku is really good.
I don't know why.
Krill miku is insane. Oh, it's so good. It makes me so sad. Wait, I have to open the videos. Here's one. Wait. There, our first video.
Go on, touch me.
Mom.
No, I'm going
shit.
underground. Screw you.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Crap, she scared the bejesus out of me. Don't show it. She hasn't seen me
What
yet.
is
I'm
that
camouflaged.
creature?
I'm the same color as Brady's food. There's no way she knows I'm here. It just
And why does my
feels like she knows, but she
volume
know.
doesn't work
Stay
anymore?
Completely still. It'll all be good.
Although it works.
We meet again, Mr. Fatty.
What is that? It's like a what is the thing that is like starting with an S? I forgot again.
Righto, yeah, oh, fatty, am I? Okay.
Do it.
Do what? I'm not doing anything. I'm just eating the stupid horse's
I'm
food.
not meant to have the phone. I'm meant to be saving you.
Ah,
A
yeah.
sh-
Well, you're not doing a very good job of it.
I forgot
You're
the
not
name
saving
again.
me. Go on, touch me.
Not a shroom, it's not a mushroom, okay?
Oh. Oh, no.
Indeed, very beautiful rat creature. Whatever that might be. Good one. Bandicoot. It's a bandicoot apparently.
Stop it. Brady and I have an agreement.
Halfway.
Just leave me.
Where
Okay,
is
the
he?
next one is actually gonna
There
be.
he is.
The next one is actually gonna be terrifying, so
Fatty.
Okay.
Fatty McFatty.
you have to watch out for this one. It's Discord. No, I closed it. Okay, this one was too terrifying actually. Yeah. I don't know why losing my mind. Okay, let's see if you can hear it still. It's Possums. Oh, Werbung. Blender mit! Das, okay. Gut, that you cannot hear it.
7:1. Und ein
7:1, Leute.
Mach besondere Momente noch besonderer.
Rewe
Schnapp dir
Bonus.
deinen Fanbonus. Jetzt jede Woche neu in der Rewe-App.
If you don't use Rewe app, that's kind of cringe. So, this one apparently got sent in two. It's opossums eating bananas. What is with those videos? Wait a second. There's a playlist that. Man, where are they? Why they are like in a bathroom and so many possums? Holy shit, scariest shit ever. Actually. I don't even know how it can be so scary. There's a thing called Hydra Theory. It's pretty long. Where did those weird 3D GIFs came from? 3D GIFs came from is another video from Nico too. Oh, okay, sound is there. I was always wondering, like, where the 3D GIFs come from. Beware of elves. I'm gonna get that too, but I have to get like the actual video that we wanted to watch. Michael Jackson bots. Impala dog. Oh my god, it's so high up. I don't know if we should watch the Cheese Kids archive and then the explanation. It's 2 hours! Holy shit! Damn!
For many years, Adobe...
It's huge!
What you're seeing right now is one of my favorite pieces of
Lugalan
art ever.
made
It's
this.
a short looped 3D
Lugalan.
animation of a smiling sun. But where did it come from and why does it even exist? And I'm not just asking that about this smiling sun, but also this odd smoking heart character.
What
and
is
this
that?
pirate dancing to the tune
I know this guy though. I know the pirate dancing. I'm gonna put the subtitles over here.
of his radio, or this flaming anthropomorphic baseball, this little low-resolution
Wait, I know this guy too!
this man spinning around a roulette wheel, this jester dancing in front of a princess, and a library of tens of thousands of other little animations. I've known of these things for well over a decade now, and I've always absolutely adored them, whether they were looped over a song on YouTube or stamped in the
Yeah,
corners
that's where
of
I
some
know them.
random old website, or tacked onto the side of a PowerPoint presentation I saw in school when I was like 7 years old. They've always
What do you
given
mean?
off
Why is
this
there a PowerPoint
comforting,
presentation at 7 years
nostalgic,
old?
but odd, kind of uncanny feeling to me with their mix of crude late 90s, early 2000s 3D modeling and unnatural stilted movements, but still honest and whimsical intentions. But I
It's
never
beautiful.
actually knew where they came from. I'd always just taken these things for granted as bizarre little internet entities that spawn onto my screen once every few months before melting back into whatever algorithm they emerged from. And so I did just a little bit of digging and found out that actually these are all distributed and owned by the exact same company.
Okay, I would have
These
guessed that
weird
too.
3D GIFs all come from animationfactory.com.
Pizza!
Noch ich kann Cola. Ey, Cola!
So I have ads on my
Ich habe eine Cola gewonnen.
damn
Der Gewinn mit dem Glückspenny. Über 1 Million Gratisartikel
on my
von
damn
Coca-Cola und
Chrome.
Gustavo Gusto. Jetzt täglich mitspielen in der Penny-App.
In der Penny-App? I never understood how to make perfume, like
Das neue Parfum.
to make perfume. Ads. I only have ad blocker on Chrome.
This
I normally have it
is
too, but I'm
Animation
using incognito
Factory,
mode right
the
now.
website all these GIFs come from. An online library of web graphics built for PowerPoint presentations, educational resources, personal and commercial web pages, or any sort of graphic
Your
design
Opera one
project
broke, oh
someone
damn.
is working on. And it's huge. The site's home to this
that not-
early
not
internet
already like the
infinity of
explanation?
over 600,000 clip art images, stock videos, web graphics,
600,000.
PowerPoint templates and backgrounds, fonts and sounds, and of course their iconic 3D GIFs, organized into dozens of themes and subcategories and
uses them,
absurd
though?
hyper-specific niches. And for one of 3 yearly payments from Gold to Platinum to Pro, you could have all of this at your
What?
fingertips to use on whatever you want. Well,
Holy
as long
shit,
as
that's
you're following the
expensive.
rules, that is. Rules that get less and less strict the more you pay. But before we get into the obscure, twisting timeline of this platform, up to it now being basically discontinued, or all the little production and distribution details of the animations, and even a conversation I had with Animation Factory staff.
Oh damn!
Why does this actually exist?
I would wonder too.
Well,
Whose
it's
company buys that?
1987, and the GIF was just born. The graphics interchange format, or GIF, was created by Steve Wilhite and his team at the now long defunct CompuServe, and the objective of the GIF was simple: create an image format that could be efficiently used over the agonizingly slow dial-up connections and primitive phone lines of the time.
Damn.
I mean, most online services back then were text-based. Actual
GIFs are
images were
still
a
like
luxury,
used
and
nowadays.
CompuServe
It's
needed a
insane
way to display color
how good
images
they are.
without them taking forever to download. And so we got the GIF, still in use almost 4 decades later.
Yeah,
A
that's
format
insane.
with efficient compression and universal browser support, if a fairly limited palette of just 256 colors. But if you tried to put
That's
together an
limited?
Animation Factory classic back then, like, I don't know, anthropomorphic liver chugging beer, or Bigfoot chasing random guy, or even something a lot simpler like this rudimentary yellow smiley face, you would have got results instead like these.
Let me actually.
Yeah, see,
Make-
in the early days of the World
It's
Wide
like this.
Web, GIFs were mostly used as static images. Their small file sizes and reliability made them ideal for things like logos
they
and
would-
graphics,
they
or
would not
simple
move.
illustrations and diagrams, transparent buttons and overlays, and even some early loading indicators and progress bars for people's websites. But when there was animation with early GIFs, they played just once, ending on the last frame and becoming static. That needed to change. See, GIFs weren't originally meant to move at all, actually, but they've always technically been able to. The GIF format stores multiple images in its one file, and naturally that led people to use those multiple images as the frames of an animation, but with no mechanism to repeat that animation yet. And so, in September 1995, 8 years after the GIF's inception, Netscape
it's so
implemented the
old.
Netscape application block. A block here basically being like an instruction you could add to a GIF's data, with Netscape's block telling a GIF to repeat its animation a set amount of times, anywhere from 1 time to 65,535 times to be exact. Or if you would just enter the number 0, it would repeat infinitely. And so the endlessly looping GIF as we now know it was created. And the following years would see the internet develop from this archaic text-based information dump to a mesmerizing cosmos of personal,
God.
pointless little homepages and charming cobbled together websites, all
GIFs should be
decorated with
everywhere.
plenty of GIFs. Under construction signs, spying eyes, spinning email icons and 3D titles, pixel art animals, tiny little low-resolution sprites for anything you could imagine, Homer Simpson entering 3D, banners and bumpers and rainbow bars and rotating grayscale cubes with your own face on every side, a background made of birds, hovering crescent moons, more under construction signs, stoner dragons and wizards, flags and planets and butterflies and fire and fish, swimming around the just sprawling,
GIFs
impossible
are so
computer
trippy.
that was the internet of the mid to late 90s. This nebula of sites and blogs and pages about fishing trips or Dungeons and Dragons or dating lives or mathematics and science or stone sculptures of animals or just some random person you'll never know writing up a recount of all the holidays they've been on around the
That
world.
is
All of
so
course
funny.
filled to the brim with clip art, gorgeous early computer graphics, low resolution images and photos, eye-strainingly incoherent color schemes, and blocks of text, and GIFs.
I don't know, like,
GIFs
what was with
and
people back
more
in the
GIFs.
days? Why was more back in the days? And nowadays it's like
There
everything
was
is minimalistic.
A demand for animated GIFs.
Like,
now,
why
for
didn't
little beeping, buzzing
people
buttons
want the
and
same back in the
signposts and
day?
spinning symbols and emblems and badges and wacky little moving characters and animals and elements to decorate your site with, to explore this exciting new medium of personal expression with. And just as there was a demand for photos and still images for the same purpose, there was now a demand for GIFs, which did something still graphics couldn't in adding actual movement to a page. Pair this with businesses and schools also moving towards digital presentations with platforms like PowerPoint, and that demand was real. There was a big market here, both personally and commercially.
Looks a
and
bit
companies
like
and
the beginning of a
services
clickbait
are,
button.
of course, made to capitalize on demands. So in 1996,
It was the
internet's
beginning,
new
kinda.
one-stop shop for all things GIF was founded. Enter Animation Factory.
That's the place where all the things are coming from.
Animation Factory was founded by two animators, Art Holden and Jim Maloney.
Ain't no
And for
way
the next
his
few
name
years,
was Art
it would
Holden.
act as a storefront for the animations they
insane.
were already producing with their own studio, Eclipse Digital. See, Animation Factory is not an animation studio, it's an animation distributor. It collects and licenses animations from whoever is feeding it to then sell to customers so both itself and the artist can profit. And over time, it would grow to include the works of several other studios and teams and artists, all selling their work under the Animation Factory name.
Why they're so
But for
similar
now,
though?
it was just Holden and Maloney supplying and running the entire service. And from what we can salvage with the Wayback Machine, the earliest archive of Animation Factory is this scattered memory of a website from February 1st, 1999. Almost all of its images and links long dead, but thankfully all the text and information and a surprising amount of actual GIFs here are still intact, and from
White
this
version.
we can learn a lot. First of all, Animation Factory was alive here. New animations were being added daily, and the site had a ton of little ornamentations.
By the way, I
like
can
an
still not
animation
understand
of
the
day
Wayback Machine.
section
It's
where
so
they'd
insane
showcase
that
a
it
different
has
GIF
like
every day. For example, Thursday 28th of January 1999, bongo drum. And even the site's logo was a GIF back then. Every single one of the already 11,000 original animated GIFs here was created by just one of three animators, Art Holden, Jim Maloney, and a third, as far as I can see,
Art Holden himself
unmentioned
did that shit?
animator. Though as soon as July 1999, just 5 months later, the factory's ranks had already grown to include 3 more animators, some web designers, shipping and business managers, and just generally a few more helping hands with the
Shipping,
growing
they
business.
send it the
And
gifts to
oh
people.
boy, was the business growing. Animation Factory's early years saw a gold rush of aesthetic developments and real tangible expansions, with the site rapidly evolving from this disjointed labyrinth of text to a site with an identity. Its signature
There was the
orange colour
Madagascar
scheme,
guy.
the little characters splattered all over the homepage, the constantly updating banners and promos. This felt like a real busy, bustling, working factory. And there was a selection of products on offer, mainly of course the actual
I still don't
animated
understand why
GIFs,
GIFs
which
were
all
so
have a
popular when
distinct
videos were still a
timestamp
thing.
looked
Of course,
on
they
now with
saved
very
more
crude,
like
stilted movements
resources
and
with
less
that, but
cartoony, more uncanny proportions.
they
and
could not save
looks
so
to
much
them than the
resources
more
with that.
modern stuff. Thanks of course to one, these all needing to be pumped out on an industrial scale, meaning corners were cut frequently, and two, the limitations of the actual
Slimer
3D
Brick
modeling
Wacom.
software at the time. As they mentioned in their FAQ, they were using a
We're
combination
watching
of
where those
lightweight
3D GIFs are
and
coming from.
Photoshop to do the image work, and then they compiled and optimized the animation using ULEAD's GIF animator, and so these animations all bear a charmingly archaic style to them. And since they all still exist on animationfactory.com today, sitting beside works made decades into the future, they are very easy to pick out and appreciate. And there was also a premium gold site for members only. There were newsletters and subscriptions, as well as a rich catalog of physical collections they were actively producing
How
on
does
CDs.
that work?
And this whole website, as it now lies here entrenched
physically
deep
gives-
into the long-abandoned archives of the internet, still just oozes enthusiasm and passion for its craft. From the personal, almost conversational way Holden writes his answers to FAQs or explains why he and Maloney started the company, it just gives off the impression of a man who is proud of what he's creating and wants to create more. Like he said, their motivation motivation with Animation Factory in particular was to provide, and I quote, a dynamic clip art collection which is continually updated based on the wants and needs of the customers. But Animation Factory wasn't the only of its kind. 1996 saw a bunch of other heavy hitters in this newly emerging online graphics market, with clipart.com or Net Object Fusion, which was revolutionary for web design at the time, coming out besides it. I mean, Getty Images came out the year following, which means Animation Factory had competition, formidable competition. It was coming in shoulder to shoulder with giants. If it wanted to be a successful graphics library in the long term, which it evidently did, it was going to need more than just wacky clip art and a load of static buttons.
If it's €50, like
something special,
subscription,
something different, and of course, that would be its animated GIFs.
Huh? Aussie! I cannot wait to get copyrighted by ads. What is... yeah. How's watching videos going? Watching videos is going well. Instead of Aussie's curls.
Hi there! Would you like to receive a gift?
No.
I'm a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yep. Jesus Christ, my ass!
The trademark and selling point of AnimationFactory.com. Over the course of its now 30 years of life, Animation Factory has collected work from countless different animation teams, freelance artists, and pre-existing collections, and as of today houses 38,852 animated GIFs.
I still don't know how you can even make so many images.
Of animation work in of itself to all be stored in one place, especially
whoever Art Holden is that made all of that stuff, and his other animators, I think I would lose my mind doing animations like that. Just imagine you wake up and you have to brainstorm what animation is missing in this animation folder. And you're like, okay, yeah. What could miss? Maybe like a son playing billiard with a tomato. Yeah. And then you have to sit down for multiple hours and do your weird ass idea. Like that was the daily thing. Like thinking about it is easy, but then realizing for the next like couple of hours that you have to work on this one is... I don't know how they survived that.
Especially considering the colossal volume of just actual individual models and 3D objects and little moving parts across all these animations. I've messed around with things like stop motion animation with clay sculptures growing up, and I have somewhat of a grasp of how time consuming and arduous it is to sculpt something three-dimensional and then frame by frame articulate it into any kind of coherent motion, which from memory is very. And so this bottomless pit of micro animations is dumbfounding to me. And while many are reused and recurring over multiple animations, like this pirate who you may have seen dancing beside his boombox to sea shanties on YouTube a few years ago, the variety of those reuses more than makes up for it. I mean, you can find him tapping away at a keyboard, dueling with a ninja, opening up a treasure chest, making someone walk the plank, or sneaking off with a multitude of different items. And if anything, actually having some familiar faces to run into a few times while digging through the abyss that is Animation Factory is pretty comforting. Like this anthropomorphic heart character I mentioned earlier, who features in a whopping 46 animations, maybe even being the most used character, from various crying and laughing or angry emoticons as a disembodied head to more mundane things like him singing or dancing
the first
or getting
emojis
ready to fight, to more contextually relevant things for a heart to be doing, like saying no to a tray of junk food, saying yes to vegetables, saying he loves you, working hard to press weights over his head, symbolizing cardiovascular strength, or struggling to carry around a man with a presumably alcoholic drink in his hand, symbolizing the strain a heart is put under by an unhealthy lifestyle, or him smoking and coughing and lumbering around in
Holy
this
shit!
tar-covered,
He looks
exhausted state. bloodshot eyes and
He looks
absolute
cracked
misery
up
on his face, which honestly I've never seen anything make me want to avoid smoking more than the just pure dread of this exact gif. Like, Jesus, okay fine, I won't smoke. It looks like life is hell for him. These obviously symbolizing a heart suffering from nicotine or alcohol addictions. And I'm explaining the obvious reasons for each of these animations, not to be trite, but to show
He
that
looked
yes,
horrific
these
indeed.
things, no matter how odd or abstract or seemingly unusable in any reasonable context they are, were all made to represent something and fulfill some purpose. None of these things just exist in some wacky, bizarre vacuum. They exist for a reason. And good old Mr. Hart here is certainly one of the most heavily featured characters, but even then doesn't make up anywhere close to the majority of just Hart animations alone. There are still 214 more animations tagged as Hart, from just generic 3D Hart to Angel holding generic 3D Hart to realistic 3D Hart to Heart box of chocolates to unknown slime forming into Hart to small gleeful grey humanoid smashing Hart with hammer to chef stirring soup emitting hearts to man who is a literal prisoner of love to heart thawing out from ice cube, heart that is broken, heart that is stone, heart that is earth, donut professing its true love, cyborg woman with circuit board heart to, as you can tell, dozens of other random examples. There's this masked thief you can
exactly
find
what I
creeping
said,
around,
like how did they come up with those
stealing
ideas?
and credit cards or being chased by law enforcement. This yellow peanut man running, dancing, being chased and tossed around by elephants, the mascot of his own peanut butter brand. This mummy you can find being wrapped up, chasing his own undead head or boogieing under neon lights. This blue little computer buddy as he smiles, rages, plays cards, gets checked up on, or is assailed by this bizarre green virus creature in one of my all-time favorite animation sets as we see each outcome of this battle. From the first spread of the virus in smaller forms to total virus victory and takeover to the computer blocking it out with a literal firewall to some spin-off installments with just the virus as it blasts out floppy disks or taunts its next victim. And I love to imagine these as actual little sagas and stories and worlds we're getting a peek into with these GIFs. Little windows into this bizarre, colorful, whimsical and odd world with side characters and antagonists and heroes all interacting and bouncing off each other. Animation Factory does even have some larger actual animated scenes for sale as well, with fully modeled environments and all the same characters living in them.
Oh damn, they made an entire world building.
We get to see a short film or even a video game or something modeled with these same graphics. It's fucking magic for me. There are these googly-eyed calendars making up another one of my favorite collections, one for each month in a little diorama, offering you a present besides a Christmas tree for December, swaying in the breeze with flowers for May, standing over a bountiful harvest in September, or riding a missile in July. But then these calendars are themselves a subset of this larger, more uniform collection of just items and things, all being anthropomorphized with the exact same looped walking animation and disembodied gloves and shoes and googly eyes. Animation Factory literally just has this little marching army of various instruments and appliances like this wrench or this drum or this electric keyboard, a CD, a screwdriver, coins of various currencies, the earth, footballs, basketballs and golf balls and fruits,
and this was easy to make.
Numbers and every letter of the alphabet. And
they
my
just copy pasted it.
And most elaborate of the bunch, this crown-topped $sign jumping in a mountain of cash. And of course you've then got even more generic collections like these rudimentary floating hands, typing in pin codes, giving a thumbs up, clicking a mouse, twiddling thumbs and other gestures, as well as just hundreds of different humans and different occupations and activities and emotions as you would expect, from the corporate to the leisurely to the educational to the biblical to the cartoonish to the, well, anything really in between or outside of real world human endeavor. But like I said, Animation Factory, although established under the Holden and Maloney animation team, grew to become a storefront for the works of many
yeah, that was confusing. I thought like a lot more people worked on it.
Its own detached entity. The original team breaking off to pursue other projects around 13 years later. Holden and Maloney leaving and starting up the company Presenter Media in 2009, which still operates today as a resource library for PowerPoint presentations. Meaning Animation Factory was left without its creators and
It's
put
still
into the
doing.
hands of whoever would inherit it. A long, messy chain of ownership, as it turns out, ultimately becoming an amalgamation of different art styles and producers and minds as it did so. And you can tell. You can tell these weren't made by the same people or the same tools or even during the same decade. And of course, a gradual improvement in objective animation quality over the years is going to be visible, but the variety goes a lot deeper than just older and newer looking animations. Animation Factory does not have a consistent art style or even a consistent design philosophy. It does have one,
I don't know if that's
I guess
bad.
you could say, signature or most recognizable art style though, with animations like I'm showing on screen now, characterized by the uncanny plasticky caricature faces of the humanoids, the clunky rigid movements, various commonalities in the way features are modeled, and a generally similar tempo and tendency to freeze in place for a second or two before looping their animation. And you can find these archived on the site as early as 2001, maybe even earlier if I'm mistaken. Basically,
Wait, I
being
know
the
that
second
old
actual
man.
identifiable style of the entire library, following on from the very first, less exaggerated, more archetypally 90s CGI style of the site's birth. And this is its most frequent
Wait, how
and
did they even do it
iconic
before?
art style. It shows up again and again, but it's also not anywhere close to the majority of GIFs here, and neither is the original low-resolution 90s style from the site's founding with Eclipse Digital. The rest of Animation Factory is just this patchwork collage of countless different art styles with different lighting, rendering, modeling,
still
mannerisms,
looks
tones, and mechanics,
damn
all
freaky.
clearly from completely different places. For example, if we look at all the animations with the tag businessman, we get these. First in line are these three, all of the classic Animation Factory style, the stiff
They look pretty
jumping, the
good.
odd faces, the pause before restarting. And these same businessman models reappear in quite a lot of these, some just being palette swaps of the same guy in different situations. But then if we move to the right one more, we get this donkey businessman looking a lot smoother and more like a kids movie extra. Move down and we've got this wildly more realistic and human businessman. Move further along, this Lego businessman. Move to the next page, this one with extremely cartoonish proportions. This robot one, this bulb-headed humanoid one, this
Seems
TV
like really
head
a
one,
lot of
this
artists worked
really
on that.
primitive vintage CGI looking one with a much more crudely
Holy
modeled face, or
shit.
this little button-eyed model, or these 3D stickman style businessmen. And seeing all this, I began to wonder, where exactly has Animation Factory got its animations from over the years? Because it isn't uniform, and like I said, it isn't Eclipse Digital and Art Holdings team anymore. They're nowhere to be seen on the website today, and haven't been for almost 17
who's
years.
that? Who's making
Instead,
them?
an entirely different company, Authentic Creatives LLC, is listed as the site's owner. And who are they? What studio is supplying them? Who did
And
they acquire
Facebook.
Animation Factory from? Well, as it turns out, the factory had already gone through decades of ownership change by the time they even got a hold of it. And the more questions I asked and the deeper I dug, the more Animation Factory's obscure corporate history twisted and mutated before me.
Der Immobilienmarkt sagt,
Der Immobilienmarkt.
Wir sagen, fang an zu träumen.
Finanzberater.
Make it green.
I always was wondering how the shit they write everything down on the internet actually.
Make it you.
Like they don't
Mach aus deinen
even.
Ideen Realität. Mit
This is a
Sternen
weird
schneiden.
GIF, I know, it's a really weird one. Actually just a person writing down the entire story of the factory.
Danke, dass ihr uns zum 9.
Thomas
Mal zur
worked here
Nummer
for like
1 für
20
Obst und
years.
Gemüse gemacht habt. Zum Beispiel deutscher Eisbergsalat.
Oh, look at that! I have this deutsche Eisbergsalat in my deal.
Und ab Montag doppelt punkten mit Lidl Plus auf das gesamte Obst- und
Merkt euch,
Gemüsesortiment.
am Donnerstag,
Lidl lohnt sich.
am Donnerstag, Montag.
I went down the rabbit hole with Animation
Doppelte
Factory
Punkte.
and I've managed to piece together a timeline of ownership, transactions, who's
Momonga
owned it,
colored
and
you by the
when, and
dawn
for
of
how
beige.
much, and so on. It's been a winding and dark rabbit hole trying
Beige
to
for
track
what?
down each company involved here, with random old business filings and insider articles and contracts scattered around on abandoned websites from over 2 decades ago. But I think I've got the history of Animation Factory down.
Oh.
So here it is. 1996. Animation Factory is founded as an independent company and online service. A digital media library specializing in royalty-free animations and graphics for websites, presentations, and educational materials. Working hand in hand with its dedicated studio, Eclipse Digital, and evidently it was having a lot of success because somewhere in the year 2000, Animation Factory is acquired by VA Software Limited, or as they had just been known, VA Linux Systems. The company had just transitioned from selling Linux hardware to dealing with software and online services. And that's interesting to know because Tux, the iconic penguin mascot of the Linux operating system, is a part of Animation Factory. You can find him waddling, jumping, and sitting around here as a neat little artifact of the VA software era. And it's around this time the factory begins to develop its own aesthetic, with the aforementioned orange color scheme and some
logo of
actual
Linux.
industrial elements like pipes and valves used to connect the UI. And Tux was front and center promoting the site's latest products. But if you're wondering why we can't pin down an exact date in the year 2000 for when VA acquired Animation Factory, well, we only know at all because December 23rd, 2005, Animation Factory is sold to Jupiter Images for $9.35 million.
What?
Jupiter Images being a division of its larger multimedia parent corporation, Jupiter Media, who in 2004 had begun acquiring a ton of image assets and services. It had Think Stock Footage, ablestock.com, clipart.com, Liquid Library, PhotoObjects.net, Photos.com, and now Animation Factory. And this is really when Animation Factory hit its aesthetic prime. The site feels super polished now and has a ton of character, with its actual catalogs being richer than ever. But sadly, most background information is kept a secret here, with Animation Factory's About page mostly just detailing things about Jupiter Images and not the factory itself. And this is also where we can get an insight into just how successful Animation Factory had become, as well as finding the evidence of VA Software having even been a part of all this in the first place. See this report from December 27th, 2005 from Animation World Network, with some words from the CEOs of both companies regarding the transaction. Quote, Animation Factory's leadership position in providing 3D animations, clip art, video clips, and PowerPoint presentations further expands Jupiter Images' range of image offerings and solidifies Jupiter Images' position as the dominating company providing images by paid online subscription, stated Alan M. Meckler, chairman of Jupiter Media. We anticipate significant sales and business synergies between Animation Factory and our Jupiter Images division, as well as our other Jupiter Media
I think
properties.
like in general you can always
expect
make my
this
hair more
acquisition
blue
will
than green. I don't have
immediately
green
be accretive
anymore.
to our earnings and cash flows, added Meckler. And then from Ali Janab, president of VA Software, we get this. We have been proud to work with Animation Factory over the last 5 years, but believe that the business better fits the Jupiter Images portfolio of products and services. And this was
It should not be a demand. I mean,
First
like,
of all, now
you don't
we
have
can
to use
place
green
an accurate
in general,
date on
I
VA
think.
acquiring Animation Factory, even if it is just the year, with that having to be the year 2000, since we know from VA's literal president that they had been working with Animation Factory for 5 years, up to it now being sold in 2005. And secondly, Animation Factory was winning. It was being
Richie?
recognized by a $100 million plus company for its leadership position in web graphics. So much so, they were willing to spend just under $10 million to have it for themselves.
I blew over
and
it,
they
it's
would
kinda blending
have
it.
Animation Factory to themselves for almost a decade, making them the longest standing owner of Animation Factory in history.
It was active
However,
since
that can
2000.
only be said for
14?
Jupiter Images, not Jupiter Media. Because on October 23rd, 2008, Getty Images, the world-ending colossus of stock graphics itself, had announced it was acquiring Jupiter Images
What?
for $96 million.
I cannot get over it that like companies are buying companies the entire time. You're like, yeah, they bought the company for like 100 million. Now another company buys the company that bought the other one for like 100 million. Like what? Is there going to be another one on top of that?
The acquisition being completed on February 24th, 2009, just a few months later. And now little old Animation Factory was absorbed into the largest stock image company of all time. And you could tell. The animations were the smoothest and most canny they'd ever been. Quality was high, its aesthetic was set in stone, business was booming. These trivial little characters and creatures and micro stories churning away under the many layers of mass-produced corporate assets and services chaining up to Getty Images itself, and ultimately its owner in the multi-billion-dollar private equity firm Hellman and Friedman,
Hello,
where
Marshall,
it would stay
welcome.
for
How are you doing?
5 years, until in late January 2014, Getty
We're watching
Images
where
sold
the
it
weird
to
image
another
gifts
major
are coming
player
from.
in the stock graphics arena, Vital Imagery Limited. The company adding Animation Factory and clipart.com to its already impressive repertoire of stock
Great,
graphics
but
libraries,
also not great.
making
Ooh, what
it,
is
and
happening?
I quote, the single largest supplier of clip art and 3D animations worldwide, increasing its inventory from
What
8
the
million
heck?
assets to over 21 million, with Vital Imagery just 2 years later for their anniversary crowning Animation Factory as the #1 3D animation subscription site, with it housing over 600,000 items at the time. But wait,
That's not even that
isn't
much.
that
I thought it was way
still
more.
how many it has today, an entire decade of time later? Well, yeah, it is. Which brings us to the final ownership change and acquisition in this entire timeline, which has
that's
sadly
great.
but inevitably
final
now
exam makes it
frozen
not great.
Animation Factory in
You mean, like,
time. See, I
you have
haven't
to
been able to track down
rewrite it?
exactly when this happened, but somewhere along the line, Vital Imagery would sell Animation Factory along with the entire clipart.com
Or
and
you mean like you have bad
iPhotos
feeling?
range to a company called Authentic Creatives LLC, who are to this day, right now, still its owner. And the
Holy
best I
shit.
could find was that this happened somewhere after mid to late 2017, with this report from the site Trademarkia recording Animation Factory as a registered trademark
guys,
owned
challenge.
by Vital Imagery
I
Limited
buy the
as
platform,
late
okay?
as July 24th,
It should be pretty easy. I can do that with a
2017,
month's
with
salary.
whatever happened since then resulting in Animation Factory and Co. switching over to Authentic Creatives and Vital Imagery itself going out of business. Their own now private Instagram page still listing the site as its own, and its LinkedIn page now beginning with "We were," which is weirdly haunting. And around September 2020, Animation Factory had its final aesthetic change to this slightly flatter squared layout, which it still uses today.
Damn.
So yeah, that just about covers the history
It
of
died.
Animation Factory, the company, but still, I had so many questions about its animations, about
I
production
have a bad feeling
pipelines and
about how I
creative
did
choices and
the
softwares
exam.
and artists. And
It's probably
you know
not that
what?
bad.
Fuck it, I've done enough digging. I'm just gonna
It's
ask them
probably
myself.
not that bad.
Der neue
Ah!
Gillette Fusion One.
Gillette Fusion One Tool zum Trimmen?
Konturieren und rasieren.
Zum Konturieren
Gillette One.
und Rasieren. That's like... Wait, it's
If
still
you have
going?
any questions, please contact
By the way, which
customer
game was
service
that? I
by
think it was
email
from
at
the same maker of like
support@animationfactory.com. Weekdays
called
from
again?
9 AM to 5 PM EST. Okay.
Wait, he's
so-
asking them himself? It would be so funny if they... Yeah, I think they...
wrote them the
He said
following
before that
email.
they replied.
Do you, Animation Factory, create the animations you sell yourselves, or are they created by another company or animation team and you buy them? And if I may ask, what software are they created on? Thank you. If I can learn this, I may buy a year's subscription. To which Animation Factory replied this. Thank you for reaching out. Some animations are fully owned by Animation Factory, while others are created by independent artists who are compensated through a royalty-based arrangement. In all cases, the content is licensed to us for distribution through Animation Factory, ensuring subscribers have clear and legitimate usage rights. Because
That's crazy that somebody
spans many
replied.
years, different tools have been used depending on the project and artist. A yearly subscription gives you access to this wide range of animations with straightforward licensing. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Regards, Lisa H. And in response to that, I, now very excited at having got an actually substantial reply, wrote up this mammoth of an email containing 8 different questions and a bunch of unnecessary clarifications about my intentions, which I won't read out for brevity's sake, but as you can see, it was a lot. If they were able to get back to me on all this, it would be huge, and we'd be able to understand these little gifts once and for all.
Nah, man, I would skip that
is
shit.
what they messaged back.
But they did message
Lucalan,
back.
Thanks for your inquiry.
It's
We
someone else.
unfortunately don't have much of the historical information from the website or the assets on it, as we acquired it as part of a collection of sites a few years ago, and it's been pretty much on autopilot since, with other priorities taking over. No new animations have been added to the site in many years, and it mainly lives on as a legacy site that many of us used early on in our website design and development journeys. Best of luck with your video essay, Andrew. Wow.
Oh, that was
okay,
quick.
so it looks like a lot of the little creative details about Animation Factory are genuinely just lost to time, and unless a bunch of ex-staff members from various different time spans over decades of history are pulled
You
out
should
of corporate
search for
obscurity for an
the
interview,
main people.
we likely won't know much of those details ever. AnimationFactory.com is still afloat though, up and running as an artifact of a bygone era, frozen in time and inherited by an entirely new team of fresh faces who seem happy enough to keep it online, but were not there for any of its prior winding, twisted, long story. The many citizens of this now retired and deserted but once bustling and brimming and constantly expanding metropolis of gifts and characters and storylines and colors and expressions and movements still dancing on as they have been all this time regardless, jumping and smiling and running and going about their days over and over for all eternity. But the Animation Factory story doesn't end here. You may have seen this Animation Factory gif recently of a jester dancing before an unamused princess with the text, how it feels to DM a woman, trending as one of the most viral memes of December 2025, being remixed and recycled over and over by countless people. These Animation Factory gifs of construction workers were viral for the 3D GIF dubstep meme a few years back as well, those videos garnering millions and millions of views, with the dedicated channel 3D GIF dubstep still uploading to this day to the tune of tens of thousands of views and over 30,000 subscribers. Each of their uploads, these bizarre amalgamations of Animation Factory GIFs and realistic backgrounds coupled with, at times, hour-long dubstep soundtracks. Or the pirate, as I mentioned earlier, a regular shitpost character to accompany low-quality compressed sea shanties, or Dat Boy, literally one of the most infamous dank memes of 2016, this unicycling frog from Animation Factory's Essential Collection 3, which was even found inside someone's actual physics textbook at school. Or several Animation Factory gifs looping over tracks from artists like Pilot Red Sun on YouTube, or just any of the many genuinely huge memes over the past decade that have in one way or another
we really have a good
these
ability to revive something like that,
particular godforsaken website. These things are special. I mean, how else else would they have existed into the current day with any sort of relevancy if they weren't? There's just something about them, their look, their feel, their crude, odd models and vibrant personalities, their sheer numbers and ability to fit almost any situation. Although we likely aren't going to see any more of these things, they also aren't going to die anytime soon. These weird 3D
Holy shit, why is my
GIFs
bitrate at
all
20,000? What is happening?
from animationfactory.com.
That's insane. That was interesting. That was funny. Man, kinda interesting to see that they're still alive to this day. Not in the sense of that they're still active, I mean like in the sense of that they're still getting used. And I wonder how long they're still gonna be like alive. Because there's so many, like 600,000? No, around that. 600,000 like different gifts, man. I wonder really how long the website is gonna be, or like the memes are gonna be active. Because at some point they should die. But I don't know really. I'm really scared to watch the really long Cheese Kids archive one. Because it's 2 hours. But if we start now, I might finish it. So let's do that.
Flash was the standard for creating interactive websites.
Wait. The creator is it's just explained, by the way. It's Minaxa. Damn. And of course the Cheese Kids Archive channel called Cheese Kids Archive. Who would have guessed that? But yeah, pretty long video.
For many years, Adobe Flash was the standard for creating interactive websites and games online.
I wonder what this is about.
With the onset of better alternatives such as HTML5 and WebGL, on December 31st, 2020, Adobe ceased their support of Flash players across all browsers.
Oh yeah, I even
Because
lived
of this,
that.
Many online Flash games that didn't have substantial communities failed to be archived and were
That's sad.
forever lost to time. Not every game had to meet such a depressing fate. Some games have the privilege of being archived and thus our nostalgia for the games in question can be relived and preserved
Fate
for
Grand
all
Order?
eternity,
No.
at least to an extent. Chess Kids Archive is an ARG/digital horror series that aims to emulate exactly the scenario that I just described. This website used to be a platform for children to play online games and have fun. What could possibly have gone wrong? The video will be divided into 5 main sections. The first section will cover the Chess Kids archive itself.
Oh, it's
The
not
second
Cheese
will
Kids,
cover
it's
the first
Chess
part of
Kids.
the website. The
I thought it
third
was
will
cheese.
cover all the other social media platforms. The fourth will cover the final portion of the website. And finally, the 5th section will be for theory and analysis.
That thing is
Before
so long.
we really begin, I would like to give a brief viewer discretion warning since this series covers some heavy topics and occasionally shows some disturbing imagery. With all that being said, let's dive
does.
right into it.
What is about Flash games? Chess Kids Archive Part 1. I like digital ARGs. They're pretty
The first
funny.
video was released on February 20th, 2022. I will be using the Chess Kids Archive Instagram to supplement the visuals occasionally since the archival YouTube videos tend to be pretty low in quality.
What?
The first video starts with a little jingle and a low quality screen which we have access to a better version of.
Terra Art Trills. Terra?
The screen says created by Sarah R. Trills.
Yeah.
And the Instagram post says, apparently this was the screen that played when you opened the website as a way to thank the creator, Sarah Trills. And with that, we're introduced to one of the most important characters.
That's such
in
a good
the whole
image.
Series. Then we transition into what seems like a main menu or hub for the website with 3 main buttons. The first one leads to a town, but the person recording goes back to the main menu and clicks on the center button, which leads to this page. But the screen begins to glitch. The portrait from the beginning is shown again, but this time it's empty. Then it transitions into another screen and we briefly see a different menu.
Oh my god, that like
until it
low
glitches
quality is
again and
giving
the
me like
video just
brain
ends.
pain.
Now, we do
Look
have
pretty legit.
access to a higher quality version of the menu we briefly saw, and it seems to be the game's menu that you'd access by clicking this button. This game's menu actually gives us a date for Chess Kids, 2000 to 2003.
It looks like
However,
an
the
ass
very
game.
next video
It
is
was
labeled
created with Bloons
2000
Tower
to
Defense, guys.
2004, which means the previous footage was most likely recorded before
Bloons
2004.
Tower
Something like
Defense.
that. This time, the footage shows one of the games that used to be available, Reading with Ben. The story the person recording chooses to read is Trouble on Mayhill Farm. The video quality is too poor to make out any of the words, but the Instagram version actually attempts to transcribe the words so we can read them, but it may not be 100% accurate. I'll go ahead and read the story now. Way down on the hillside of Maryland, Oregon lived Harry the Red Cat. Every day, he tended to his crops and lived a happy life alone from anyone. Harry was happy. Harry was free as a farm cat. One day, it was hot out, and Harry saw his crops were beginning to wilt. He panicked and worried all his hard work would be for nothing. All his berries, gone. His carrots, gone. His flowers and peas, gone. It was now or never. Harry knew that without rain, he couldn't have his crops grow, so he thought and he thought until he got an idea. To save his crop, Harry would have to take the water from his water heater inside his little house and cover his farm in the water.
the
Sure,
shit?
it's boiling, but it has to work.
Stupid. How about just like sink? It happened. That was way too fast.
From there, we seem to get visuals of Harry going to retrieve the water, but something doesn't really seem right. Though the YouTube version doesn't offer much more insight from here, the Instagram version with the transcription has a secret message hidden within this ending sequence.
Oh my god. I cannot
It
read.
seems to be an excerpt from a developer interview, though it's not entirely legible. I'm not actually going to read out this interview because it's played for us very soon. I just wanted to let you guys know that we technically did have access to it before. Now, I don't have access to any high-quality footage of this next sequence, and it doesn't seem to have any connection to the games that we can see on the first page. The text in the center says, "Press 1," and upon pressing any button, an image appears. The first shows a kitten. The second shows a very distorted image of what appears to be a man.
It looks
Honestly,
like nothing.
I thought it resembled this painting of Jesus, which might be important for later. The next shows an off-putting depiction of what appears to be a monkey. I don't know. I really don't know what this is. And the next is a liminal-looking photo of a pathway at night. The website begins to go haywire once again, and a dark image displays. From there, it cuts back to the main menu, and the video ends. The next video is
Pretty
footage
legit.
of another game called Forest Adventure, which may be related to Forest Journey on the game's menu, but I'm not sure. It starts with an open field in a forest with a house. Upon clicking on the house to enter
Look at
it,
the
we
tree
can
is
see 3
zesty.
different photos on the wall and a red flower in a pot on a table in the corner. The picture in the top right is something we can see on the Instagram. The one on the bottom is a blue background with a green and a red silhouette with possibly a heart between them, and the one on the top left that the player ends up clicking is what prompts Forest Adventure.
The music was busting in that shot.
So the game itself uses real images of a forest at night, along with like
Oh,
clip
damn.
art of clickable signs and other things that seem to progress the adventure. When we get to this spot in the forest, we encounter that same red and yellow flower from before. A few screens pass, but then we arrive here.
What is...
A missing person poster appears. We don't know the character on it yet, but this will be very important later. Then it transitions into an actual video of someone walking through the woods. During this footage, the captions actually say at the 2-minute and 50-second mark,
She has to be out here somewhere. You found a secret!
Then we seem to cut to an interview with Sarah. This is the interview that I said that we would hear later. What inspired you to make a kids website?
Nothing against Sarah, man. That image is scary.
Gosh, I'd say it goes back a while. I've always been into coding and making little things for my friends to share around. I've been messing with computers since I was able to type. My dad was a technical engineer, so we would get all that stuff early. But,
What did they do to her voice?
Really isn't just a kids website. It's an entertainment website. Anyone can enjoy our games. There are probably things in that game that will go over kids' heads, and then things that older people really wouldn't understand. But we wanted to make it something accessible, something fun for everybody.
How big is the team working on your website?
Well, including me, it's about 6 or 7.
Whoa, 6, 7?
My friend Ellen Masterson does all the artwork. Everyone else helps with coding and music and sound and video and just doing everything they can to make Ches.com stand out, be its own thing.
Who thought it was funny to put that music in the background? Like Madison ass sounding music.
Before we continue, I just want to highlight that we've been introduced to a new character, Ellen, who is responsible for the art, and we've been told that about 6 or 7 people total work on the website.
6 or 7
After this
people.
interview segment ends, we cut back to the screen with the flower from before. Now, originally when the player clicked on the red flower in the previous screen, it didn't do anything. But if the player clicks on the red flower after the interview is done playing, they're treated to another video of someone walking through the forest.
I love forests. Definitely.
Until we're suddenly back in the house. The picture from before has changed. The background is now black, and the red silhouette has turned gray. And the same missing person poster shows up, only this time it's for Sarah.
It's really always about missing people, is it? Those like ARGs? Like, no problem with that, but it's very similar. They always have something to do with missing people. Oh my god. Eee! Stop stretching your image.
The player gets forcefully booted to the main hub, and then the video just ends. It is important to note that in this video's description, there's a deviation for the first time, in that it says Sarah Trills is still missing to this day. Please contact the Grey Pass police station with any information that may help us uncover. And then it transitions back into this lost website or any screen caps. Now, so far, we've covered 3 entries in the series. The 4th entry is a compilation of those first 3 with some added bonus content, so I'm gonna go ahead and explore only everything that is new within this video. First off, it begins with what seems like interviews of people who actually remember the Ches.com website.
It's not cheese, they still call it Ches?
Is that it was quite buggy. There was some game about a forest, and that it ran on Flash. I hope this somehow helps.
Hey there. I came across your account on Instagram.
Wow, they're like TTS people.
My little brother brother, and I played on Shay Kids all the time when we were little, but I had completely forgot about it until I saw your archive. That's when all the nostalgia came flooding back.
I do not remember much from that website, but ... All I know it was that I used to play it with during school recess. One of my fave games was the Kabuki, or how it was called. I do not remember much of the others. I do only played one. The rest of the website was pretty buggy, and the page will freeze every time I try to click K on one. While scratching I do played other.
What an ass website.
But at one point the web closes, and it was hard to reach the
Should have played Papa's Pizzeria.
Also, whatever happens to Sarah, hopes she's okay. God bless her son.
Based on the things that they say, it seems like the buggy nature of the website is universal and not just something that we're seeing as the audience. From there, the rest of the episode plays out as semi-normal until the extras portion at the end. There seems to have been a spot on the website with profiles to learn about each character, but the quality is rather low, so it's difficult to actually make out any of the details. There does exist a cleaner version of Chester's character profile though, and in that we get to find out that the squares in the corner are actually the character's favorite food and favorite knickknack. Now, for the most part, we either can't tell what it is or it looks super strange. Either way, super low quality, but there are a few of them that are worth paying attention to. For instance, this character right here that we've never actually met before, Kabuko, has a completely blank slot for both her favorite food and favorite knickknack, for seemingly no reason whatsoever.
She hates everything.
Harry's character profile is also kind of strange in that I have no idea what his favorite food is meant to be here, and his favorite knickknack seems to be like a plushie of himself or something. If you remember the first time the missing person poster showed, we got to see Woodsy, and her character profile does briefly show up here. Her favorite food seems to be depicted as a honeycomb, but her knickknack is completely blank.
Oh,
but
it's
not
blank.
blank in the same way as Kabuko's, blank as in a black void. That's not the only strange anomaly on this page though, as there seems to be a real person hiding in the background. This character may be a representation, whether vague or direct, of the missing Sarah trails. Using this logic, it could be said that maybe this parallel can be drawn between other characters in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, let's back up a bit, since this seems like a good point to do that. What do we know? There's a website that used to exist called ChezKids or Chez.com that has a hub for online children's games from around 2000 to 2004 until it suddenly disappeared. It was created by Sarah Trills, her friend Ellen, and a handful of other developers that we've yet to meet. The glitchy and buggy nature of the website is something that happened to at least a few people who remember playing on it. At some point, the creator of the website, Sarah, went missing, and according to the video description on the third episode, is still missing to this day. There's our recap. Now we can dive into the longest video in the series, clocking in at almost 26 minutes, which is found footage of a birthday minigame.
I hope he's going through it like pretty fast.
The video begins in the town that we briefly saw in a previous entry, but it then returns to the games page. The player clicks the next page and we get to see the second page of games for the first time. After clicking on a game, we see the instruction screen for a birthday surprise, though I can't really read it. Then an in-game cutscene plays.
Whoa!
Hi!
It's
I
voice
haven't seen
acted.
you around. Can I tell you something on my mind? And you gotta promise not to tell anybody. My friend Lola's having a birthday party. It was going pretty smooth until that storm came by last night and totally blew all the presents all over the town. You know, I'm just one cat. There's only a little bit I can do, but
why's it disappearing?
I had some help. It gives me an idea. You can help me, right? Awesome. All right. Around the town, there'll be some gifts and items like cake, presents, balloons, anything that would work with a party. If you see something, click on it with your mouse. There'll be signs around
Understood
town to
with
help
your
direct
mouth.
you on where to go. If you see any of my friends around, they might have some clues to help you out. Also, make sure you don't tell Lola.
After it ends, the game starts. The first present seems to
Sounds
be a
pretty normal.
necklace, and Chester congratulates us for finding it. Afterwards, the player checks the phone to hear a message left from Hopper talking about Harry wanting to buy some carrots from Chester.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hey, Chester, call me back when you can. Harry's been looking to buy some more carrots from you. I know you and your grandpa were selling them a couple summers ago, so call me back when you get this message. Don't keep me waiting.
After seeing everything there is to see in this room, the player exits to find themselves at a crossroads with Lola standing in front of them.
Oh, it looks so good, by the way. I'm so impressed that they needed an entire artist to do that.
Who's your friend? Anywho, do you know what today is? Oh, come on.
Oh my god.
What? You forgot? I mean, how about you see yourself away from me, you mangy cat?
Mangy cat.
Did you catch that? Let me pause it for you.
No,
this
what?
time.
What happened? Oh my god. I didn't saw
After you're
that
done
indeed.
talking to Lola, you move on to a hillside with a windmill and get to talk to Ticking
Lola's
Tim.
kidnapping
It's
people.
worth noting that the red flowers from before are once again present on this hillside. He says that he may or may not know the location of some of the lost presents, and that you have to best him in a game of his choice in order to get them back, so he's kind of just being an asshole. The player declines, however, and ventures into the windmill alone to find a gift. This time it appears to be a yo-yo. Before
It's a
Chester
yo-yo, it
can
looks like a
finish
damn ring.
congratulating you, an alarm starts playing for whatever reason, and the player enters a room and finds the phone again.
Nice job!
What the heck? Oh, warning, very loud distorted audio coming up.
Here at the studio right now. You're gonna come in.
Whoa!
It was pretty.
He's using a damn Xbox mic.
Like you look at things kind of thing.
Good that I have like a limiter on this.
Some issues with the site. Some bugs. So yeah, hey, if you're gonna
I
come
think
in,
you have a little bit more than just a couple of bugs, sir.
yeah. So call me back when you can.
My guy was also
The
speaking in
message
such lower
this time
case, holy shit.
seems to be from a real person. After the phone call ends, we cut to the roof of the windmill, find some party hats, and then we're back on the main floor. After exiting and talking to Tim again, his dialogue is now so loud that it's too distorted to properly understand, but I can make out some of it.
Okay.
And it's the same lines.
Good
from
thing
before.
that it's
this time the player
not
accepts,
loud.
and we play Tim's tic-tac-talk, which we may have already seen on the game menu at some point.
And for those who are really paying attention, you can see Sarah's face is actually in the center of the tic-tac-toe board.
I cannot
You
see
beat
it.
Tim the first time, and he blatantly cheats to win the second time, but on the third match...
Tim! He's playing like Watsaki. That's crazy. You. You.
You win!
The gift that you receive for defeating Tim is
I'm
fittingly
very
a little pocket
the
watch.
shade.
The next area leads us to Benny the Bear.
He did play like
For
that,
some
I swear.
reason, he approaches us, says nothing, and then just leaves. From there, we get to enter the tree with a door on it, which leads to a dark, candlelit section. The player finds another present.
Anyway, the
but
genie problem.
this
Welcome.
time,
Watching the Chess Kids archive. My guy's speaking back with his like damn Xbox mic.
You know, because I talk to you in the studio, and then it's like whenever I try to talk outside of work, you just aren't very receptive. So I just, you know.
This guy killed her. Simple. That's it. That's gonna be the story.
Talk about something you can. If not, I understand too. I just really care about you. Yeah,
How damn creepy those digital horror ARGs are always. It's always about someone killing someone. Especially with digital horror.
After the phone call ends, we take the final path, which seems to lead to Harry's house, but he doesn't appear to be home at the moment. For some reason, the present animation begins without the player doing anything at all, and Harry's gift seems to be the same red flowers that we've been seeing the whole time. Red Gerber daisies, specifically.
I don't know why I'm getting like the shivers.
The background glitches into the room we started in, and the player clicks on the phone.
It's not even like this is spooky, it's just weird. Yo, look at that tune. Actually going insane. Absolute. Oh my god, thank you so much for the raid, Fairy Night Lily. How is stream going? Hello guys, welcome. I'm a little bit disturbed right now and I don't know what is happening to my screen. Yeah, how is stream going? Ignore that thing that you just saw on the screen, okay? How are you doing? What did you do? Hello, waiters. What is that shit? Why did it came out of nothing? Yeah, but what did you do for stream? Playing the Cheese Kids archive? You couldn't have timed them more perfectly. Actually, no. The time where he used his Xbox microphone was the worst time. Wow. What was that in the last frame?
Suddenly as it began, the chaos ends, and we're in a bright green room with a familiar face.
Yeah. Kill it! He got RTX on. Oh my god! Gift found! This is like a fever dream, I'm gonna be honest right now. We love you, Sarah.
The website then boots the player back to the main menu and the video abruptly ends.
I hate when they're doing that, like a big pause.
Now, the next video is much shorter, and it seems to depict the intended minigame ending cutscene that we were meant to see just now.
Happy birthday! It's your birthday party, silly.
Oh my god. You know what I find really like impressive? Oh my god. In those digital horror ones? Instead of analog horror, in my opinion, digital horror is very disturbing. Like
Before
it
we
is.
get to the next long episode, I would like to briefly speak about the less important videos that precede
It's very
them.
disturbing.
There are 5 songs and a 12-second
While analog
walk
horror is
cycle
just
animation.
scary
4
most
of
of
the
the time.
songs seem to be just songs and nothing else, added for the sake of immersion. But the final one seems to
Like
be
a lot of things that digital horror has is a very strong contrast from something supposedly in quotes cute looking to something like super horrific. Yeah, I think the contrast in digital horror is very strong because most of the time the digital era is filled with something that is supposed to be cute or people try to make it cute, but it turns out to be like horrible. And I think I like that progress. While in analog horror, you have that horror is just old. It doesn't try to be cute. It's literally just old. And that's the thing that I like about
Valentine's
digital
song
horror.
performed by Chester himself. And based on the information we've learned, it seems like it may have some relevance to the overall story. I'll point out a few of the lines in the song now that I think have some significance.
I imagine I'm in love with you many times before. But I'll get you.
Pretty good.
In the end. Yes, I will. I'll get you in the end.
That's kind of scary. What the heck?
Oh, yeah.
It's also a
Oh,
real
yeah.
song, I'll Get You by the Beatles.
Imagine I'm in love with you. It's
Mhm.
The next video is another one that's about 20 minutes long, and it seems to be games that were themed around Harry's farm, which we learned about a while back.
Hey, no,
It
man.
starts
I
with
hate
the player
Harry.
running into Harry, who then asks for help on the farm.
Harry's so scary.
Too busy. Could you help me out with all
Hey,
of
look at
this?
him.
You will help me? Great. Here, my farm is right this way.
He sounds like
Here we are. Tons
That-
of farm activities. And lucky for you,
he sounds like a Minecraft speedrunner.
The first minigame involves helping Hopper, who accidentally spilled ink all over the vegetables that they were supposed to help Harry pick.
How did you do
The goal
that?
is to identify which vegetable they are and to win the game. Now, you may notice that there's a certain someone peeking from behind the fence in the background, but it's never really deliberately said, and she doesn't really do
Maybe that is
anything.
the favorite food
This
of
game seems to
Harry too, by the
actually
way.
go perfectly
The
normal,
ink.
which is pretty
We saw
rare
that before.
as far as Chess Kids goes. Afterwards, the player clicks on a corn who looks like he's high out of his mind and tells some awful jokes.
Here's a good one for you. What did the truthful asparagus say to the rude peach? You're rotten to the pit.
That one was pretty good. What is
The
wrong
next
with
game
them?
involves picking a carrot for a
Damn.
contest, and Harry tells you to pick the biggest one. After doing that, though, you can hear the person recording fumbling with their keyboard to try and make it do something. At least, that's what it seems like on a surface level, but in reality, it's something very different. This is one of the few times in the entire series that we very deliberately hear keyboard noises, and it's because earlier in the video there is a cipher in the captions, and it translates to press is big carrot 3 times and type embittered into keyboard to access his real voice. Make sure microphone and webcam is turned on, will never work.
What does that even
without.
mean?
It almost seems like the person that was recording was being led to this blue heart
Use,
Easter
like,
egg
facial recognition or
intentionally.
something?
The game glitches, and we see a very strange visual that actually matches something that we'll get to see far later down the line in the video, and we're booted back to the beginning. But this time, it's glitched. It briefly shows an image
That
of
always
what
seems so
seems to be a
scammy.
real barn, and eventually
Just scan
we're
your
forced
face.
into playing a fruit quiz. But the game is already broken beyond repair.
truth, and it's your job to answer which truth the picture matches the best.
Seems pretty good for me. I think they have to fix the damn games. Who played it in school again?
It might not seem like an important detail for now, but the fact that the game breaks and shows Sarah when the player clicks on cherries will be relevant in the near future.
What?
After this ends, we're taken to a point-and-click adventure-style forest section where we have to gather items on Harry's checklist. We meet a new character who asks for oil to loosen his joints, but he's kind of just ignored. We don't really know what he means as far as I know, so after collecting a few more items, the player stumbles upon a notebook labeled Poems for Sarah. It can be assumed then that since we are on a mission to recover things that belong to Harry, that this book probably belongs to Harry.
This is sus.
The first 3 poems don't seem to have too much in the realm of significance, at least on a surface level. Though I think it's very interesting that the first poem uses honey, which is Woodsy's favorite food, and the second uses the cherry lips, which parallels the cherry and Sarah that I just talked about a bit ago. It's when we get to the 4th poem that things start to get a little interesting. I'm gonna read the poems as we go along. Between the thorns and the petals. Now watch, he said. Remember to pluck between the thorns and the petals, or else your fingers will get pricked. She nods and says, I understand. Now white roses switch to pink. Now understand, she said. Remember to set the table. Knives to forks to spoons. He
What type
nods
of
and
poem
says,
is that?
I understand. Now white tablecloth, switch to pink. Though I don't have a super direct interpretation of this, it is worth noting that the he in the poem gives the she a destructive task that seems to make her bleed, whilst the he is given a relatively safe task in setting the table. The tablecloth and rose both being stained pink seems to me to imply in some form blood is shed, despite the tasks having differing levels of inherent danger. I believe that in vague terms, this may be the point right before Harrison and Sarah's relationship took a dive off the deep end, so to speak. Assuming these are written in order, this is also supported by the dramatic escalation in the very next poem. Smiling Man. Smiling Man lived in the Smiling Flat, up on Smiley Hill. He lived his smiley life every day working a smiley job, with his smiley kids and smiley wife. Her name was Barbara, I think. One day, Smiling Man went out of his smiley work early, saying hello to smiley passerbys, grabbing smiling groceries, getting into his smiling car, heading home to his smiley life, and smiley kids, and smiley wife, when suddenly his smiling flat began to cry, 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 cry. Oh, smiley wife, he called out. I think her name was Barbara. But all was left. Upon the fridge was a note that said goodbye. Crying Man lives in a crying flat, up on Crying Hill.
Man, who hurt that guy?
Life. Her name was Barbara,
Holy
if
shit.
I remember correctly. Okay, so this one has a lot to unpack. I believe this poem may represent the happy life that Harrison had or wanted to have with Sarah before everything went wrong.
Nah, man, this
Earlier
guy
in
was
the birthday minigame video, there is a photo of a
was
lady in a
dreaming
dress
shit.
and a man in a suit that appears twice. Now, in case it wasn't overwhelmingly obvious enough, this is Sarah and Harry, the other human male character that we've seen in the series so far. Her hairstyle is the same, she's wearing a green dress, and his hairstyle is the same, and we see this image during our confrontation with Woodsy towards the end of the video. We know at this point that Woodsy is a representation of Sarah. It's also very important to pay close attention to the wording in the poem. Smiling Man lived his smiley life, and Crying Man lives in a crying flat. It seems like Harrison was a very emotional and perhaps unstable individual, though it is a bit understandable at the very least to be upset about a breakup. The next poem, however, devolves into the realm of deranged ramblings.
There's nothing, okay, let me tell you, there's nothing scarier than a psychotic break-up relationship type of story. Holy shit, I am terrified of that shit. I don't know why.
The way we love, the way we love. Grown-ups say the love is farce. Grown-ups say we don't know because we are young. Grown-ups warn us of the danger. Grown-ups try and tell us we don't know forever. Love is the way we hold each other. Love is the happy apples we eat. Love is the candy clouds, the green grass, the sweet dew of morning, the empty room, the curls, the hair in the sink, the way you talk to me, the way you tell me what's wrong with me, the way you talk to me, the way you don't talk to me, the way you talk behind my back, the way you lie to me, the way you never listen to me, the way you encourage me, the way you yell at me, the hair in the sick.
What?
The what we tell ourselves it's going to be okay. The way you spend money on me. The way you make me. The way you make me feel. The way you make me feel. The way I remember feeling. The way you make me feel. The way you talk to me. The way your lips curl when you smile at me. The way you call me bad names. The way you call me weak. The way you lie to me. The way you carve into me. The way you walk with me. The way you make me smile. The way that grown-ups don't understand. The way that love is the way that you talk to me. The way we love. The way you make me feel inside.
How did you write this so much?
Did
you write like a lot, damn.
I want to feel love. Love is the way you feel. Alright, well, that was pretty dramatic. This poem isn't all too difficult to figure out. So Harrison is clearly distraught over either his breakup with Sarah or the fact that he is about to break up with Sarah or that he can see it happening in the near future. And I think a lot of this poem may also be about things that happened a long time ago. Because of the word grown-ups being used, it seems to be implying that at least some or maybe even all of the poem was written when they were younger, and it simply parallels events that...
Well, that was not a relationship I had, but I hate poems. A friend of mine, a really psychopathic friend of mine, before he went into another city, we hated that guy. Okay, I hated that dude. But he had a book of mine, and he gave me that book back with a damn poem inside. I am still... That's why, like...
that are happening later in his life, but obviously we don't really know. The poem could have easily been written with Harrison in a headspace reminiscing about when they were younger as well. So we really don't know.
It's crazy that people actually do shit like that.
Feels like it de-escalates quite a bit compared to the previous two. Farm kitties. Little
farm
bitty
kitties.
Kitty, sitting in a farm he doesn't belong.
Okay, he really likes poems though.
Eat on the farm. Pig, cow, horse, sheep, chicken. Maybe the farm cat likes to be in the farm for
poems rhymes, especially in German, always gives me X. I don't know why. That's true though, yeah.
Self-soothe. And at the bottom of the page is signed, "For you, my love, Harrison Michaels." I think this final poem, if Harry is meant to be taken as a direct representation of Harrison, may be talking about Harry the farm cat, or Harry the farm cat is a character that was created because of Harrison's existing feelings. But I don't believe we have very strong evidence for any other interpretations, though it, to me, might be an introspection into how Harrison feels about how those in his life treat him. With this, the website forcefully boots the player who is recording back to the original homepage, and this video finally comes to an end. Now, I know that might have felt like a lot of information to take in, and it was.
Yeah.
But I am glad to say that there are no more episodes that are that long, so everything else should be easier to consume in comparison.
I was lurking until now.
Let's recap the newer things that we've learned before moving on. We know a bit more about Harrison and Sarah's relationship,
a very
and that they likely had a good relationship.
It's very simple to follow story when you just look at the grand scheme of things. It's basically just, oh damn, I got a subscription to Woo. Who's that? I got 2 gifted, guys. Yo, let's go. No, I got 3 gifted. What the shit? Insane. Couple. Yeah. Fat rat. Beautiful. I like the version where he is with the golden spiral. Oh, that one goes hard. That fat rat, I mean. For real, why is that rat so fat? Yeah, with the golden ratio. Thank you so much for that fat rat. I am less scared now. Actually. Really good rat. Really good rat, man.
And at some point things started to get worse, until at some point Sarah broke up with or broke off an engagement with Harrison. The escalation may have eventually led to Sarah's death by Harrison's hands. This is a bit confusing since we also know something happened to Harrison. There is also evidence because of character parallels that Harrison may have owned or lived on a farm and had access to farming equipment and a forest nearby. With that said, we can go ahead and bundle the next few videos into their own little section. The first video
it is basically about a couple and the guy killed the girl.
After listening to it, none of the sounds
but he just said
that
something happened to him too, apparently.
There is a face that appears at the end. As far as I know, we are not sure who exactly this face belongs to. The next 4 videos consist of 2 songs, a sound effect, and a 38-second video of someone manhandling the hell out of a Chester plush.
It's an advertisement? Why did randomly an ad come out? Hä? Ionos.
Ihre Webseite kostet viel Zeit. Warum?
What the heck was that?
The next 2 videos are both about 2 minutes long, but it's only the first one that we're actually interested in. See, the first 20 to 30 or so seconds of the video are completely normal, but then we hear what sounds like distorted dialogue that we can't really make out.
No, wait, I can understand that.
So this should be pretty obvious, but this is speech, and it sounds kind of like Harrison speaking angrily, but I don't hear a second person.
I think it says.
What I do hear in the background though is a reversed version of the Valentine's Chess Kids cover for some reason.
Subscribe to Momonga, Altosk.
We get to see a photo of Harrison and Sarah together, and the interesting thing here is that we have seen green and red silhouettes before. This was foreshadowed episodes before this.
My god, is so smart.
The next video is a 16-minute audio segment that seems to have been sent in through email by a third party. This video has yet to be solved, which is assuming it actually has a deeper meaning. Apparently, the people in the community went through hell and back to try and figure out what it meant, and nothing ever really worked.
You know, it would be kind of funny if always when they have something like that, they just upload random shit that doesn't have a meaning.
That seems to have been made for the Christmas season of 2004. For most of the video, it's an innocent cover of Holly Jolly Christmas by Chester's voice actor. However, at about the 2-minute mark,
So close home where you can see somebody waits for you. Kiss her once for me.
Oh, look at that shit.
Have a
Go crazy.
jolly Christmas and the cake you get here.
We see Sarah's messed up face in shocking detail considering most of the series lacking quality, and I don't think I'm gonna be showing it here because that's just asking for YouTube to give me some consequences.
That's
and
crazy.
It's a little fucked up. I will come back to it later because it's actually very important to my overall interpretation of the series events, but for now
How did
I'm
they
going
do
to
that?
leave it as it is. The next video is equally important in that same sense.
They should have
and it
uploaded the
involves
video of them
footage
eating pineapple
Chester
pizza.
on what seems to be like a built-in video player on the
Pineapple
website.
pizza would be
All you need
good.
to do is get outside and go on a nice walk. Like this one here.
I was thinking about making some pineapple, like some Hawaii toast before. That was pretty good. Like a slice of pineapple,
The
some
forest
ham.
seems almost like the forest that we've seen at night before
Toast.
several times. The person recording shows signs of audible frustration, and Chester has some very interesting lines in this video too.
You hear those sounds?
What did he say? Nah, man, that's scary as shit. What is that?
At 1 minute and 56 seconds, Chester says,
Loss is something that everybody has to deal with once in a while.
Imagine covering AIG, but the creator just posted a random video of them rolling in a gacha game and eating a nice
that
meal.
line, we know this is definitely
Wasn't not like a AIG once where the creator just started doing Minecraft videos one day? I swear, we watched something like that. We were like, hey, why did they stop? And we went on their channel and they just started posting Minecraft. And we were like, oh, wait, they just stopped making the AIG and just started playing Minecraft normally? Yeah, I swear there was one. There was like a horror series that we tried to follow, like some AIG, and we wanted to see if it continues, but the person apparently stopped and started playing Minecraft. And not even AIG, it was literally just Minecraft.
definitely Harrison calling out for Sarah. But why in the woods? Well, we'll have to put a pin on that information too. There's two more minor videos after this, that being a 40-second song with no significance and a 9-second mailbox animation, also seemingly with no significance. With that, we can finally move on to the final two public videos on the Ches Kids Archive channel so far.
Yeah, the King in
those
Yellow
are
guy
the Halloween gameplay and the Easter special.
You mean the Canis builds?
The
I'm not sure
Halloween
anymore.
minigame begins with all of the main Ches Kids characters dressed up in costumes on Halloween night. Since
Hello,
they can't
Saki.
decide what they want
Hello,
to
Momo
do,
again.
they
I
leave it
remember
up
to
to
send
the player
your
to
photo
decide
and
what
noodles that I
activity
used.
they're going to
And the
perform.
cat.
For some reason, the player is allowed to click on the gravestones in the background to travel to an unmarked one.
Your name.
After that, it takes until about halfway through the video for
anime?
the player to actually initiate an activity, and they get transported into a hallway.
No cat but a dog. I look at it in a second.
But you may have noticed at this point that a character wearing a green sweater always signifies her.
Oh shit. I forgot. So that represents our female protag, by the way. I think this little bee. Oh. Goodbye, farmer. Huh.
So, what the hell did we just witness?
Good question.
The imagery depicted three admittedly very rough images of what seemed to be like a naked woman dancing around or something, and one of them was very similar to a position of crucifixion. Considering Woodsy is shown multiple times before and during the sequence, it can be assumed
I meant like a normal video
has something to do with
before
Sarah.
going back to our
her
stuff
goodbye
to
forever
mess with
message
the community.
can be a reference to her initial breakup with Harrison, or the fact that she's,
like I said, okay,
you know,
so you make something like this, like an analog horror ARG, and then you just post like top 10 best gacha games of 2025, and then you go back to like something like this. And it would be so funny if there would be something in that video. And it would be so damn funny. I would love that. Not even on April 1st, just a random day. Yeah, exactly. Quick cook. I never saw those noodles. Holy shit. Long life brand. I don't think I have them here in Germany. They're not like normal ramen, are they? Huh, interesting.
dead. The last public video we
Okay, I have to go. Oh no, I cannot make it faster.
have so far seems to be this.
I think I have to turn it a little bit to 1.25 because else we're not going to be able to finish it. So it's going to be a little bit faster, but
Easter special, though it's officially labeled as
hopefully not
Chester
too fast,
Easter egg
okay?
tossing animation. It also includes a song that seems to talk about the story of the Christian Bible, how
They're very
God created the
spongy.
earth and life and sent his son to earth to die for our sins and his subsequent resurrection.
Okay, no, I'm already over it. Nah. This one's better.
Though most of the lyrics are actually pretty vague, this is yet another reference to Jesus within the series. Also, this song is real as well. It's A Little Story by Daniel Johnston, a random song that came out in like
The
1980.
songs of in.
There was this big guy, and he had a great idea.
I don't even think this one is
Crazy.
a cover. It sounds just pitched and distorted. Now, although this seems to be it for the videos, there are actually various unlisted videos, some of which were found through various clues, and others that used to be public in the past, but for whatever reason no longer are.
The
The
Minecraft
first of
Let's
these
Play?
unlisted videos is a minute long, and it's called Happy Birthday. It depicts a room with a cake in it, and then this happens.
Brauchst du etwas? Frag einfach. Triff den Computer, der mit dir spricht.
Neu, Jakobs 3 in 1 Pistazie.
Oh, Pistazie.
Jetzt probieren.
Oh shit, it
And the
goes.
video ends after Sarah's picture is shown. The next one is Sticking Your Nose, which shows art of Chester shushing the player with text that reads, "You found a secret surprise." But when the player clicks on the red button, the background disappears, and eventually so does Chester, until only this dark image remains.
Okay.
After that, we have possibly the
Hey.
funniest video in the entire series, which is Top 10 Excerpt video style look at shit.
Like I said, Nick, literally what I said. Top 10 gacha games. I'm Jesus for being able to. We freaking guessed that shit. What? We should make our own ARG. Literally. Another funny thing is the random video on Analog Guy. That is not a game, but about the ARG itself. But the MC complaining of random things. We are Jesus.
Chill's Top 10 video. Yeah, the Burger King foot lettuce guy.
Wait, what?
Exploit was brought to me by a user who wishes to remain anonymous. ChezKids.com or Chez.com was an early 2000s web game on the internet filled with colorful characters.
Ah, what the heck? What happened? Where did this came from?
Kids and adults alone. What happened to Chez Kids, and why is it so mysterious today? Now the hardest part.
They should have really gotten the guy for the
that we recognized when we were
I cannot hear anything that he's saying, by the way.
things from false memories and nostalgia. What do you think? All my viewers, leave your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to read them about this sort of topic, which I haven't seen much publication of.
Yeah, give a follow and like too.
The footage was submitted by a user named Lowell_M9, which, although much later in the video, I promise, will be super important.
What?
The following video was just a teaser for the birthday minigame and shows no new information, so I'll go ahead and ignore that one.
Hey, nice job!
The next two unlisted videos are only really relevant when we get around to talking about something else later, so I'll put a pin in those for now. The one after those is the final unlisted
It's
archive video,
Japanese?
and it's called Kabuko, written out in Japanese hiragana. The video starts on the game menu, but eventually shows footage of a game called Kabuko Haitatsu, which translates to Kabuko Delivery, and it features a new and surprisingly humanoid character for whatever reason, Kabuko. Yes, that was Sarah's messed up face again.
Where?
If this was a normal digital horror series, this is probably where we would end the video, but this is an ARG. There is far more to this story than what lies on the surface.
Oh, there was already the
Almost
end
like
of
an
the
iceberg.
channel.
But where do we even start? Well, let's take a look at the official website.
Ooh. You think they already like implemented this as
Welcome
a Roblox
to
game?
the Ches Kids Archive website. This is the website homepage. I'll go ahead and go through all of the immediately available links on
Yes.
this homepage to start us off on this journey. The first link leads to a video that we've already seen, and these two YouTube channel links lead to
I
the
swear, this
original
cat,
Ches
this
Kids
blue
and-
cat, is 100% a skin in Roblox.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm not going to talk about that channel right now. We're going to talk about that later. The next link is an email Q&A, which gives away a few more key details. I'll go ahead and
Ches
read
Kids-
all of the
Ches
questions
Kids
and
is
their
so,
answers
like,
now,
over 1 year,
and
there
I'll
must be at
pause
least
if I
one
have
niche
anything else
Roblox
to
game.
say. All right, let's begin.
Oh.
Hi, I'm just reaching out to ask how you guys find all of this data on Ches Kids. I remember playing it growing up and I could never find any info. For a while, I thought it was just something I made up as a kid. From Maddie. Hello, Maddie. We are comprised of a medium-sized team of researchers, all who either remember playing / hearing about Ches.com when it was online, or just fans of lost media and the hunt for finding nostalgic remnants of the past. So you don't have to just remember anymore. We dig through lots of information sent into us at our email and our personal collections, as well as going through old data archives, trying to reach out to people involved with the project, and even trying to somehow backwards engineer the old site to run
Is
again.
the lost
Anything
media
really we can do to
controversial,
get our
lost
hands
media?
on some of that Chesy knowledge.
How
Hope
does
that
that
answers your
work?
question. So, right off the bat,
A
new
little bit.
character, Maddie. And I'll just go ahead and say here that we are going to hear more about this person in the future.
I think
All
like
right,
at least
next
a
question.
little bit.
What kind of person was Sarah Trills when she was making Chess.com? Could you tell us stuff about her before
Like
she
when you
started
find
to
those
make
media, but it's
Chess.com, if
controversial.
possible? From Clock JPEG.
I think the
Sarah
entire
R.
thing
Trills
is
was the head
controversial.
designer and director behind Chess.com. She was a very bright and charismatic young woman who worked hard, earning acclaim from her peers in the programming field. Even with a small development team, Ms. Trills created something that touched the hearts of many. We want to savor her legacy and her memory and preserve all the magic
It's
behind
not
Chess
that
Kids for this
controversial.
new generation. A photo
What
is below.
does it need then?
Hope that answered your question. Dear Chess Kids Archive team, what is your favorite color? From
Buh.
Winfill.
Who's asking that
A
shit?
collective agreement of green. Hello. Can you tell us more about who's running the project? Maybe tell us your names and about yourselves. From Igor. We are a group of people who
Have some
either enjoyed Chess
information.
Kids when it first came out and played it
Bruh.
when we were younger, or we are enthusiasts in finding lost old media and recovering it to show in the present. Our names are unimportant, as we believe the search is what is most important to us and to our followers. Hope that answered your question. Have you been able to get in contact with anyone who formerly worked on the project? From The Longest of All Time. Not yet. We have tried many a time to contact those who worked on Chess Kids, and not one person has gotten through to us, but that won't stop us. We are getting new leads every day, so hopefully here, sooner or later,
it's not that controversial to have something that is controversial.
That answered your question. Now, this is a very important detail, because I think it's strange that despite being a very dedicated team of individuals archiving Chess Kids, that they somehow haven't managed to contact a single person that used to work on the website.
It's crazy.
It's not like the website was anything to be ashamed of, and as we'll learn from later details, I don't think this archival is taking place too long after the website actually existed anyways, but we'll get back to these points later on. Hello. What was your favorite game on Chess Kids? For those in the team who played it when they were little? From Glowboy22. That's a good question. Of the games we have footage of, probably a toss-up between the Kabuko Deliver game and the Boat War game. That one we remember playing for hours. A runner-up would probably be all the little mini-games on the Hairy Farm Cat farm games.
I think they never played Bloons Tower Defense once.
Fruits and vegetables. Hope that answered your question.
In Roblox, there I know people dressed like Cheese Kids Roblox players hate fairies, but I found 2 games based on Cheese Kids at least from the fun.
Could you tell us about the relationship?
Show me.
Thanks. From just someone. Sarah R. Trills was the head developer and the project director of Chess Kids, also known as chess.com. She was a bright, creative individual who worked effortlessly with her team to create something very special. Something that would permeate culture and generation. She worked with a small team of lead developers, all of which we have not been able to get in contact with. Most likely they have moved on from caring. She got along well with people, and coworkers and classmates had stated she excelled in everything she worked in and was very professional, but still with a fun side. While having other core lead developers, many people were part-time employed to work on chess.com, being able to experience the magic firsthand, and be able to be a part of something as special as Chess Kids. Hope that answered your question. This one reveals important information as well. It seems like overall the website is idolizing Sarah almost as if she was some divine entity and capable of doing wrong, because this is a little hyperbolic at this point with this answer. Saying that she's excelled in everything that she's worked in is a bit of a stretch. Hey Chess Kids Archive. Have there been any urban legends surrounding Chess Kids? Websites like it tend to have people overreacting. From Xander. Hello Xander. Thank you for submitting your question. Chess.com, being a piece of lost media, can for sure make some people draw wild, crazy conclusions about the project and the people behind it, which, trust me, we have heard the blunt of these things. Our team is more interested in getting real factual material from chesskids/chess.com rather than listening to people fear-monger and spread false lies about
his name is just like that.
We are looking into. Urban legends and theories are just part of the World Wide Web, so we usually don't take anything that sounds too crazy too seriously. But if anyone has any leads or email evidence, especially relaying sources to get into contact with the development team,
did you guys thought about making a Roblox game?
At chesskids@gmail.com. Thanks. And that's the end of the Q&A page. Returning to the homepage, we see a bit of a summary of what the website is to anyone that may be stumbling upon it accidentally. What is this anyway? Chess Kids, also known as chess.com, was an entertaining educational website created in 2000. A fun game for people who like to play and have fun.
Whoa, the website looks terrible.
Music, activities, videos, and even
Did you watch the dwarf talking about elf video? Not yet.
That since 2004 has been considered lost media. A team
we don't
so
have time to watch more, I think.
Sweat and tears into it. Full heart and hard work, only to have it fade into obscurity. So, we have started a community outpour to help find this classic.
It looks like it was made in 1993.
On our YouTube, we upload video content, either from our archives or audience submissions. Real ones only, we don't want to spread misinformation. Our Instagram and Twitter host both community conversation as well as further submissions and graphics/audio relating to chess.com. So please, stay a while, kick back, grab a pop, and enjoy what we have found for you. P.S. We try and update our website and other platforms as frequently as possible, so always check back to see if we have more to show you all. Email your findings to chesskids@gmail.com.
Wohin du auch gehst, erlebe mehr Volumen und Schwung mit John Frieda Volume Lift.
Fußball bewegt uns. Lass dich nicht vom Schmerz
Why?
stoppen.
How did they got a real dwarf
wird
though?
direkt, wo Schmerz entsteht und lindert Schmerzen bis zu
How did they
12
got a real
Stunden.
dwarf on this?
Offiziell lizenzierte Schmerz.
Voltaren.
If we go down further, we find this door, which also leads to an unlisted video on the channel that we're not going to talk about yet. Then we have more text. Our mission. Our goal is to bring this piece of nostalgia from our memories back to the
I feel like
limelight.
Jesus'
in even the
archive
smallest
is
way.
good.
Our team is hard at work, always
That
trying
it
to get as
never
much
really popped
information
off.
we
I
can
mean,
with chess.com
if it they become like beyond, it's turned into slop.
Then there's a link to a newer page which shows character profiles from many of the Chess Kids characters and plays some music.
Oh shit.
There isn't much here in the realm of relevant information, but there are a few things to
They
note.
popped up a text
Lola,
picture of
the
Mickey
pink
Mouse.
cat, was originally voiced by Ellen Masterson.
I looked
It
away
was
for
later
1
changed,
second.
And apparently, Kabuko's Japanese dialogue and text was all translated either by an in-development team Japanese speaker or through automated programming. Her name may be referring to the Japanese word kabu, meaning turnip. If we scroll down to the bottom after this, we see a very low quality picture of the character who asked for oil previously, if you remember that.
Oh yeah.
This image is actually clickable,
The creature
which
on the
leads
ground.
to what seems like a glitched version of the same page with different audio. If you scroll down to the bottom and click the image again, you're met with a prompt that says nosy, nosy, and a different song plays. This time the page repeats many more times.
Ice drain
and
upcoming.
much longer. And if you go down far enough, you find these images. If you go all the way to the bottom and click again, this happens.
Man, this is scary.
It is difficult to spot, but if you focus, you can see there is text that blends with the background here. Upon opening the HTML source
Do you think
code
Cheese
for the
Kids will
website,
play
the text
Fortnite?
can be easily read.
They will probably be
Where did you
included
go?
into Fortnite.
Please stop lying to me. And the requested page was not found. Repeating over and over again, and at the bottom, an image titled "The Way You Made Me" .jpg. And if we take a look at the alt text in the HTML, this is actually a reference to the words "The way you made me say sorry." This looks like a picture of Harrison. This ends the rabbit hole from
You mean the
this
song
specific
from
spot,
Justin
and
Bieber?
we can check out the 2 important links left on the homepage. New findings just leads to a video we've already seen, but the photo of the
Kids
barn is a
expert
clickable
peanut
link
with
that
heart.
leads to a page labeled "A Conversation," and the URL says "Memories." A song is playing.
I don't know
The
if that was
background looks
Markiplier.
like a shooting star and the night sky in an open field.
It looked pretty
And
scary.
this page also has text. I'll go ahead and read the conversation out loud. 11:08. And right about here. Whoa, you can really see the sky from here. This can be our little spot away from all of that junk. Can I ask you something? Is everything okay? Yeah, it's just all of this. You aren't making sense. I just want things to stay like this. Yeah? What is it? Your smile. It's cute. Not as cute as yours. Your lips are like cherries. You
Cherries?
flatter me.
Like the one that I draw all the time?
I'm so lucky. You have no idea. Trust me, I am the lucky one. You're warm. Here, it's getting late. We should get out of here. Will I see you tomorrow? Of course. And if we scroll way down past the main section, we get one more partial sentence. A few kisses ago. Now, it's important to remember the lips are like
You
cherries
of course
line is a
would
direct callback to
expect
one of
them to
Harrison's
be.
poems, so this is just definitely a conversation between Harrison and Sarah, and a few kisses ago might imply that it might not even have taken place that long before everything went bad. This is crucial insight into how their relationship was at some point. They had a genuine passion for each other, and they really did love each other. Now, I
Sure
would
about
like
that.
to immediately propose a setting for this conversation to have taken place in, but it's going to be a lot easier to convey when we have the evidence from the next page that I want to talk about. The last link of the page, which is labeled Nosy, 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 leads to this page. I'm not
What is
sure what the background is
this?
meant to
Van
be,
Gogh
but the text
painting.
says, "Who are you running from? My old treehouse was right there. Haha." The URL is labeled as Mayhill Farms, which is the same name as Harry's farm on the website. An image below the main text shows Sarah and
looking at those
Harrison's initials
flowers
together, and the last thing on the page is a link labeled Blue Heart, which also leads to the second channel.
I'm so happy that
page referenced a treehouse, and the song that played on the last page, which is the audio.
Okay, so I'm so happy that I have to go back to my normal ass sad life tomorrow and go to work, because if I would have to have a free day tomorrow and sleep alone in my house now, I would shit my pants, okay? There's at least something that brings me back to reality.
Audio you're hearing right now is labeled underthetree.mp3. I think it's entirely possible that this treehouse was a sort of special place for Sarah and Harrison to meet despite their parents not exactly liking each other whenever they wanted to see each other. The last thing on the homepage is a GIF of a key labeled sing.gif.
Hey, is that from the same website we saw before?
On the surface level of the website. However, it is important to note that there are far more links to explore, and I'll go ahead and show you all of the ones that have been found so far. At least the ones that are relevant to this portion of the video.
9 to 5 is gonna get me.
You may have noticed that Woodsy wasn't present in the original character page, but on the URL Woods, she has entirely taken over a copy of that page. This picture of her is labeled as crunchy.png, which may be alluding to something that I'll discuss in the theory section later on. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there is a bit of dialogue that we can read out. We need to talk now. God, will you calm down? You are always
So
crying.
a second melon hit Momonga.
I miss when you were smiling. Smile for me, please. I want you to smile. I want us to smile. Where are you going?
I know.
Where are you
Like, you have to
going?
imagine
Where
that
are
with
you
like a
going?
reporter voice, you know?
Repeat it over and over and over again until at the bottom, we're met with a picture of a disfigured face that can be clicked on, which leads to I saw you. Playing disturbing, distorted audio to accompany the face with small text at the bottom reading, I truly thought you believed in me.
What is that type of bullshit?
Interestingly enough, if you actually download this MP3 and look at the details in the file, it leads back to another song, Roy Orbison's Crying.
Minecraft! Oh. Okay, I thought for a second. Copyrighted.
The song that played on the original /Woods page was actually a distorted version of this song, so it makes sense. Visiting the URL extension smart leads to another distorted
Now I want to
version
imagine
of the
now that it
character
was actually
page.
Minecraft music.
The background on this one is completely different, and all of the text leads back to a previous page we saw, I Could Just Smile. Towards the bottom of the page, there is also a high quality version of the background image that we can now read. It says, Dev note for all programmers. ST. Hello. I wanted to leave this
How
message for the
many
lead programmers
thieves
and
does
the
it
rest
take
of
to
those
beat one
working on
cheese kid?
this game.
2.5
As we
Miyazakis.
appreciate the work you are doing, please think about trying a little harder. We are trying to make a serious project here that will stand the tests of time, and the product that me and the other supervisors have seen is lackluster
Dragons?
at best.
Drag-
To say it bluntly,
He's
pull
nuts?
your shit together. Chiz.com needs your help, and if you aren't willing to put in that effort and make something groundbreaking, leave your resignation notice on my desk.
What the heck?
We are a team, but everyone must pull their weight. That means all of you. Feedback is less positive than projected. If the glaring issues, i.e. unfinished minigames, errors in loading, glitched assets, audio errors, etc. are not dealt with, major consequences will follow. Possibly a pay decrease and or termination.
What are they getting paid for?
We
Like
are a family.
$20 a month?
Chess.com needs you, so please
Not that
do
poison
your
ring
very
it took
best.
me over 30 minutes
If
to
not
beat.
for
I
me,
lost
then
over
for
half of my
millions of
revives.
people who will love
Holy
what we create.
shit. What did he do to you?
Remove texture when done reading. If we were to actually click on the image itself, whose file is named placeholder.png, we are led to this familiar page, but instead using the URL hello hello hi happy. It is worth noting that if you enter a URL that isn't actually available, it will always default to this exact page, which is likely why the requested page was not found is a repeated phrase in the text in the background. The URL uh-oh leads to a page that contains the really messed up picture of Sarah's face that I'm not going to show again, albeit in slightly worse quality, with 3 lines of text saying uh-oh, followed by a really big uh-oh covering most of the screen. There's also audio to accompany this page, which is just 5 seconds of rather loud white noise.
I don't think that's white noise.
Wir hatten keine Ahnung, wozu wir fähig waren.
Wir sind heute hier, um Frauen an ihren Platz zurückzubringen.
Was soll das überhaupt bedeuten?
Man handeln muss und sein Schicksal selbst in die
Frauen an ihren Platz zurückzubringen.
Is one I know for a fact was discovered through brute force
go on our
website into the URL, and it contains a low-quality picture of Sarah, the word talker, and a short audio file that doesn't really seem to mean anything. The tab is labeled "Isn't She," which is probably a continuation of the URL extension.
It looks like a fire website actually.
The picture of Sarah is named everlasting.png.
It looks like a Minecraft painting.
Which is a word from one of Harrison's poems, leads to a page with the poem used as the background, with a clown or jester seemingly overlaid sideways on top of it. The background is called /likethisone.png, and the clown image is named present.png. Upon clicking on the clown, we're led to hopping with 2 G's at the end, which has disturbing audio and a repeated sunset background labeled /wish. The audio is labeled "What Will Make Him Happy.mp3."
I think I heard that, yeah.
Now, before we go any
where
deeper into the website,
where did you
need
pegs?
to finally go back to that second channel.
There's always
It
PNGs.
can't be stated how crucial this second channel's context is for our understanding going
Alhenda
forward, and
hatte
I'll also be
Roses
discussing the various
Veranda.
ciphers and clues that were solved through various social media and other locations that gave us even more hints. Let's go ahead and begin our analysis of the second channel, Alhena Hydrothrosis Veranda.
That's almost what I said. Other social media. Man, I really like my new chat box. It looks really good.
For starters, the name of the channel and the first video are themselves an anagram for Sarah and Harry, lovers in death.
What does
Because of
what
this,
is an
it's
anagram?
maybe safe to assume that both of them are dead. Speaking of the first video, it kind of just seems like nonsense. I can't possibly make out what's happening here.
I know what this is. This is like meat and Club
The third
Penguin.
video is about 30 seconds long and is titled "No Cheating." There's 2 fun details that we can note here. First of all, the "No Cheating" in the title is a callback to the background image from the missing URL pages on the website, which have the same name, and the thumbnail is a callback to the red Gerber daisy flowers that Harry has on his farm. The background is very low quality, but it seems like it could easily be some kind of gore that I can't really make out. The comments seem to think so, at least. The text on the screen reads "Ches Kids Tutorial," "Akesure Big Choice," and "Embittered." Then the screen fades to the forest, the blue heart appears once again, which we haven't seen in a while, and the video ends. I'm not sure if this information is relevant in the slightest, but the audio in this is a slightly slowed down version of Yankee Doodle. I'll go ahead and play it.
Yankee Doodle. Now the next video is an Agnes tutorial.
The description of this video says, "You can't hide how ugly you truly are."
Man, what the heck?
The final video seems to be a clip of
Shit.
Harrison reading the Smiling Man poem and nothing more.
Marianne lives in a crying flat up on Crying Hill. He lived his smiley life. Her name was Barbara, if I remember correctly.
Damn, yeah, who's bullying him?
The visuals don't seem to convey anything too concrete, but I believe that hearing Harrison himself recite the poem was crucial in highlighting its importance. The description of this video says, "Actions speak louder than words." You may have noticed that I purposefully skipped the second video, but that's because I wanted to save that one for last, and this channel also has a handful of unlisted videos. Most of them were accessed through ciphers left behind in video descriptions and scrounged from various pieces in Twitter posts, Reddit posts, or community posts, among other hints. I'll now go through the unlisted Alhena channel videos in release order.
Why is this actually?
The first one is named 2003, and it's a really low quality still image of what looks like a severed head.
Holy shit.
Whether or not it's Sarah's or Harrison's or something else entirely is not something I really know. I don't really know what this video means, honestly, but the video's description reads, "This is where we planned on living," remember?
They should have censored that shit too, like holy shit.
Well, she was just 17. Which then shows what we can assume to be Sarah's mangled and presumably naked body. The description even says, "If you know what I mean." No, what the fuck does that mean? Now, I know this looks and sounds pretty bad, and the community thought so too, because when this came out, they actually had to ask the creator, and they did receive a confirmation that essay, and especially child essay, is not an element of the ARG story at all, unlike some other pieces of media out there. In reality, the title and description were actually just another reference to a Beatles song. I saw her standing there.
Ah, good. What is with the Beatles the entire time?
Is play that song again, which is just 5 seconds of white noise with an image of probably Harrison staring at the camera, which seems to be a theme in this ARG for reasons we'll find out soon enough.
Nah, man, they have to be like whoever made this ARG has to be locked up, man.
Harrison, and has a coded link as well.
Like, how do you make stuff like that?
Nose, which seems to have something to do with the nosy.
Like, how big is even this cheese kit archive? It seems like a live project for someone.
That says happier times, mirroring the descriptions happier times.mp3.
Look at it, only has 5,000 views.
And this one shows a bloodied and naked Sarah in
but it
more
takes so
detail
much
than I'm
work to do
comfortable showing
that.
in this video. Though obviously there's no nudity or anything like that, I'm not gonna risk it. It is worth pointing out that at the very end of the video, "I loved you" shows up on screen. The description is another anagram that comes out to Sarah and Harry lovers in death. The next is "Don't Raise Your Voice," which shows an image of a woman crying blood along with a song called "The Spaceship Song" by Tiny Tim.
If I could drive a spaceship, dear, I'd take you to the stars, and you...
The description also says "blood, sweat, and tears." The next
What
one
the
is
actual
titled
shit?
Apple Tree, and is one of the longer videos. For most of the runtime, it's a still image of a road and a forest that I believe we've actually seen before, way back towards the beginning of the video.
I hope David Ducks. Yeah, I hope so too.
To himself, and he sounds rather disturbed or panicked.
Like a normal Dark Souls speedrun would be sick.
Halfway through the video, this image shows up on the left side, mostly
yeah?
cropped
What is
out of
that?
the frame, and I don't really know what it is. After the end, the singing stops and cuts to Sarah's face and ends with, "His voice was so pretty," and the description responds with, "I think so too." As a little fun fact,
I'm getting
Harry was
what? Okay,
actually singing
why, maybe
"Don't Sit Under the
maybe it's just because the video is spooky, but I'm getting the shivers of everything that is happening right now.
Apple Tree.
Hey, wait, what? What is happening? Huh? Wait, the video is still running. I'm not going crazy. Huh?
Has any
Wait.
meaningful application for the rest of the story?
I think he had to mute that because he got copyrighted. Yeah, he had to probably mute that section.
As a whole, but it seems like Harry or Sarah,
My life
or
is turning
both,
into an ARG,
were
guys.
rather interested in older genres of music. The next is "Crying Over You," which has an image and audio that I can't even
I
describe.
know about you, but
to
I'm currently
accompany
getting my
it.
ass beaten playing Agnes ES2. ES2 sick. I like to down. What is happening? What happened with him?
There's also various text in the video that says, "I don't like it when they raise their voices," "I don't want to do this anymore," and "You have done nothing but hurt me. I'm tired."
What's that shit?
Video
Butthole
description
face.
says, "Can I talk to you?" like a
Mickey
normal
Mouse
person
out the
for
fence.
once?" And links to an unlisted video on the main archive channel, but I'll get to that in a moment. At some point, a nearly 3-hour video that was just low droning audio was uploaded to this channel as well, but no one seemed to have been able to solve it. There is also another video here that shows the blue
Could have
heart.
been the
and it
Agnet
seems to
stream.
depict a conversation between this blue heart and the viewer, but unfortunately I can't really make out most of what it's saying, and with my current understanding of the series, I'm not sure what I can make out implies anyways. The final unlisted Alhena video is I'll Pick the Thorns. This video seems to depict a blurred image of Sarah's corpse and Harrison sobbing uncontrollably. He doesn't seem to have meant what he did to her, and even if he did mean it, he regrets it tremendously, obviously. The description responds to the title, I'll Pick the Thorns, with, "So you can hold the roses with no fear," a reference to one of Harrison's earlier poems. Now, there are two more entries that are appropriate for this section of the video. Both of them are unlisted and on the Chess Kids archive channel.
I give
the
up.
first of these two videos, the lock,
What is
only
that?
15 seconds and has a cipher in the description that comes out to embittered. The second of these I briefly mentioned earlier and can now talk about. It's titled 1998 and depicts a dancing clown sprite. Towards the end of the video, we hear the audio of Harrison screaming, and its face is replaced with his.
What the shit? How did you find that, Nickog? It's really disturbing, man. The entire thing is so weird.
Aside from that fact, we know it's Harrison because the Chess Kids Twitter also showed Harrison's yearbook quote from 1998.
They just made it then.
Time this number, 1998, was mentioned. The description, when translated, reads, Sarah Trills cannot be dead, using the cipher Harry the Hopping Clown. And with all of that context out of the way, we can now watch the final video on the Alhena channel, which has no title at all. The text at the beginning reads, the audio you are about to listen to is a rebroadcast of the 2007 radio show Ken W1090 FM. The names of certain individuals
The new
mentioned
TikTok
have been
challenge,
censored to
tear
help
off the
keep
skin of your
those
face,
not
place
wished
it
to be
on a
mentioned
chest and
anonymous. The
try
young
and
man
shake it
in this
vigorously.
interview was unable to consent to this audio being played for you.
That would have
He
been
is
like if this one
unresponsive.
trended.
This is for archival purposes only. Please respect those impacted, such as family and friends. This was recorded 3 years after the disappearance of local resident Sarah R. Trills. You may also immediately notice that there is a slightly hidden bloody face on the right-hand side of the stream. This is
heck?
basically gonna be here the whole time. The interview then begins.
Am I gonna
Hello,
see
my
it?
name is
Yeah.
Kim. I worked on chess.com, the project by Sarah Trills. I believe I joined the team in 2001. Sarah, she was a friend of my sister at the time, so I knew her then pretty well. Like, I'd see her around, and we've talked. Like, I knew who she was, and I knew about Harrison. My sister being friends with Sarah, of course, she would talk about him to a lot of other people. I know at the time I worked there, which was like 2 years, there's definitely a difference in what the media was saying about Sarah and her little project and what was really going down. Like, not what a lot of the articles looked like. It was a very different atmosphere from anywhere else I worked. I signed up for it, did a lot of the backgrounds for minigames and such, but the way that Sarah works the people under her was something that I had never seen before. If you signed up to be an artist, you'd end up also being a voice actor and a programmer. And
Bro, it was about Cheese Kids. That one programmer would have done that one-handed.
Everyone was really hands-on with the project, whether they wanted to be or not. I was
Like, what the
young,
heck?
so, I had no clue what any sort of malpractice would look like.
I think they never
Remember,
played
Sarah, like,
Clune's Tower
a lot of the
Defense.
media that's been shown, like in the podcast she was on for the Oregon State College campus. She's been shown as like a really innocent, sweet
Fun
person.
fact, at
but
some point in the
honestly,
Lox Maxon
all
community
the
there was a
issues I
tag
had were
to hit
with
your face
Sarah,
with a
like,
damn hammer to change
she
the
was
structure
really
of your
not
face.
communicating with her staff.
The what?
Things being late and past the due dates.
What
When
is
she did,
Lox
like, none of-
Maxing?
She would go on long tangents about, trying to achieve the next big thing, which, like, we were hoping for a big blowout sensation. That mostly being because we got paid depending on the amount of traffic the website was getting and the progress that we made. Listen, I don't know where that ad got 2005 from, but I'm telling you, once the website disappeared, so did her. So yeah, it's I know when the website first came out, it was a total mess.
People trying to
Where, like,
look as hot as
random
possible,
links would
thinking
send
it
you
will
to
make them more
pages unbound,
superior
or
than others.
Like would bug out.
Oh,
And of
look,
course, our
maxing.
audience being, well, mainly children, people were sending complaints. Parents of kids playing, saying the material being shown wasn't anything helpful to a child.
It has the reason why
And criticizing
mewing
the
it
work
took
of
off.
the team, and she's like,
What is
how dare
mewing?
you put something so unfinished and
Looks
broken out for us to see, or something like that. And I mean, the rest of us, we didn't think much of it, but Sarah took it very personally. After the interview with OURB, it was only downhill from there. Where are they now? Man, I have no idea. I've been in contact with a couple of people since I left in 2003, but those relationships fizzled out. I've been feeling this strange feeling ever since I left. It might be the medication I got on around the same time, but it's the feeling of being watched. It's horrible.
I hate when people pull out the thing that I feel watched and shit. I feel like... Oh, good.
Die
Oh.
Refill-Deos von da.
Ooh, good one.
Endlos verwenden.
Oh my god, finally a breather, man. It happened since the Victorian era when the French were using makeup with lead that literally was killing them. Holy shit, what? That happened? It's over, guys, sadly.
This interview opens our eyes to a lot. This is the first time we've heard anything from a Chess Kids developer aside from Harrison or Sarah. And it's a good look at how working there.
I think I don't have so much time anymore. I might have to skip a lot. I might have to skip website 2 part and just go to theory and analysis. Because else we're not going to be able to finish watching it. Yes, people, I don't know if exactly the French used to do that. That's insane.
I believe our story begins sometime before.
I cannot believe that they put like an
1998 in
iron
the
bar on
US
their
state
face.
of Oregon, while Sarah and Harrison are attending the same high school. They do seem to have a treehouse that is referenced only a handful of times, but could be assumed to have been their special place. I believe that from the very beginning, Harrison was the type of person to be easily swayed and controlled by his emotions, which may have been because of a strict and slightly traumatic
Okay,
upbringing,
just leave
as
for another day,
many
just watch it
people in the real
dwarf.
world
Ease your mind.
tend to
When the
have.
kids, nah, it's fine.
I believe a few of his poems
I think
that
I'm
we
gonna
see were
forget
written around this
about
time,
everything again if I
including the
leave it
one about
now.
the farm cat, in which I think
That's
he
why
was
it's better
talking
to
about
finish the
himself.
series.
We know he also wrote music and sang as well, which I believe were all outlets for his emotional outbursts. We know this because Sarah seems to comment on it a few times. I believe that Harry may have lived on or was the heir to a farm, or a series of farms, which were called Mayhill Farms. And I believe his parents may have disapproved of his relationship with Sarah, and Harrison, being the emotional person he was, lashed out towards his parents. Obviously, neither Sarah nor Harrison listened, and shortly after graduating, most likely in 98 or 99,
That's
they
actually
got
pretty
together
sad.
and planned to get married at some
What
point
a
in the near
McDonald's.
future. I think it's around this time that Sarah and Harrison rented an apartment together, which would make sense considering the Smiling Man poem. Somewhere around this time, Sarah gets the idea to
happened?
create a website. The early 2000s was the pioneer era for Flash-based game websites, and Sarah could be one of the pioneers of this medium. They got together a group of individuals, at least 6 that we know of. Sarah Trills, Harrison Michaels, Ellen Masterson, and Caleb Masterson are the ones whose names we know now. We can assume Ellen and Caleb are siblings because Caleb says in his interview that his sister was friends with Sarah, and he already knew about Sarah and Harrison. At the beginning, everything went surprisingly well. Harrison and Sarah's relationship strengthened, and Harrison eventually apologized to his parents and properly introduced his fiancée to them. During the short 2 to 3 year
cannot do
period in
that.
which the website was open, a young Mark Lowell discovers the website and falls in love with it. I believe it to be entirely possible that Mark and Caleb knew each other before that happened, and that Caleb may have even been the one to introduce him to the website. We know from Mark's blog that he saw Caleb like an older brother, which
What do you
means
mean
they
he
had
fell
a
in
deep
love
and
with
long-running
Cheese Kids
relationship with each other.
website?
Somehow Mark was able to access a sort of chatbot minigame through the website. The website wasn't perfect though. It was being created by a team of amateurs after all, so it was bound to have some mistakes. Mark and many children like him started seeing some broken and sometimes even scary looking glitches and bugs on the website. Sarah was a perfectionist though. She didn't want it to be that way. She wanted to make something she was proud of, something groundbreaking. So Sarah, stressed and frustrated, vented her frustration at the rest of the dev team, sending out a dev note through a texture meant to be deleted after reading. She gushed about how the dev team was a family and that everyone needed to pull their own weight and have equal accountability. She essentially said that if you didn't have the same drive as she did, that you should resign or expect a dock and pay. This fundamentally fails to account for the fact that not everyone is guaranteed to care about a project you started as much as you do, and the confrontational and standoffish attitude of the message just put everyone at the dev team off and made them care even less than they may have already.
Hey, put it here.
It was around this time that Sarah, more stressed than ever, began to externalize her stress by getting into frequent arguments with Harrison and becoming even more embittered and confrontational in general. I believe at some point Sarah may have even forced Harrison to move back home alone or kicked him out, as we know from the voicemails he leaves behind that Sarah straight up ignored Harrison for long periods of time. This wouldn't make sense unless they lived apart, unless, of course, it was even worse
broke
and
the
she
entire
was
relationship.
ignoring him despite them living together. I think it is at this point that Harrison regresses into writing poems to vent his emotional frustration, and where he writes the Smiling Man poem. We know that they never did get married though, because one of the Twitter anagrams translates to "we were supposed to get married," which means they planned to, but it never happened. This is where we start diving into a very heavy speculation, in that it's more headcanon than anything else from me personally, but just hear me out on the next section. So one day Sarah shows up to the farm, and Harrison is originally very happy about this, but I think she immediately seeks to pick a fight, and it may escalate to the point of Sarah proposing that they break up with each other or just straight up breaking up with him.
What the heck?
It's also entirely possible that the breakup had already happened and Sarah just showed up to pick a fight and rub salt into wounds that were already
What the heck was wrong with her?
The details of the confrontation that actually brings about the subsequent events are shoddy at best, hence why I clarify that this is heavy speculation. But I want you all to recall the second episode of the series. It's only episode 2, and at that point we had almost zero context for any of the events transpiring. With no context, it seems strange but ignorable. A story about a farm cat using the boiling water from his home to water his crops. Sure. However, I believe this story is a metaphor for what actually happens during their fight. It's important to note that at the very end of the story in episode 2, Sarah's face can actually be seen after Harry has entered the room with the water heater. I know I can't show it on screen because of its graphic nature, but the image of Sarah's injury to her face and neck always struck me as incredibly strange for a variety of reasons. Not only because of its high quality relative to other things in the series, meaning it's something that we need to see in that quality, but also the specifics of the injury. It doesn't appear to be any sort of cut.
How did they do
It can't
that?
have been poisoning, probably, and doesn't appear to be a burn from fire, since her clothes aren't charred or affected in the slightest. But what about boiling water?
Oh, this is
Boiling water could
disgusting.
severely burn her skin, resulting in a similar injury that does nothing to the clothes but
I
make it
imagine
wet with
this
hot water.
is
I
the
believe
real
that
crime,
Harrison,
just
whether by
admission of
complete
guilt.
accident or by heat of the moment, spilled boiling water onto the bottom half of Sarah's head
That would be
and face
like the most
during
terrifying
or
thing ever,
right
by the way.
after this fight. Sarah, whether by sheer panic or assuming that Harrison was genuinely trying to kill her,
In
ran
those
away into the
ARGs, they
forest
just
as
have to
fast
like
as she could.
show in the end like the
Harrison, who
people
was too
being all
panicked
happy
to
and
even
stuff,
understand
and the creators
gravity of what
who
he had
made
just
that
done,
and whatever,
lost her
so I can
immediately
sleep well.
and looked for her for at least an entire afternoon, as we see footage of him searching both during daylight hours and at night. Eventually, Harrison found her body, but it was already too late. By that time, she was already dead. Harrison broke. He likely spent a large amount of time in a panic, unsure of what he should even do at this point, sobbing and having anxiety attacks. He knew that he had to do something with the body, so eventually he came to the decision to attempt to get away with it instead of being truthful about the fact that it really was an accident, at least maybe. He took off her clothes, burned them separately, and then started to burn her body. There's a few reasons why I believe the body was burned specifically. Part of the reason why I believe she was burned is because the woodsy sprite that was named crunchy.png, as if to describe her body following the process, was present, and I talked about it earlier. It's possible that Harrison also cut her body into smaller pieces in order to either burn them and spread the ashes separately or bring them to other places easier, as there are several instances
Imagine if they show an
in
image
which
of
we have
Sarah
seen
smiling and
some
text
things
slowly
to
fades away.
suggest that.
And saying
Another
Sarah
main
died.
reason why I believe that she was burned is because to this
Wasn't that
day,
like, wasn't
Sarah
that
is still
another
missing.
ARG
Her
too?
body was never found or identified, which seems like a likely thing to happen if the body was burned entirely. And at this point, I believe that Harrison may have accidentally started a small fire because of this that quickly got out of control as he was
How did he do
this in a
that?
forest. I think he may himself catch on fire as well.
Ain't no
Harrison,
way.
already an emotional wreck, doesn't immediately realize that he should act rationally and just kind of runs around in a frenzy and eventually just dies to the flames. This is the end of Harrison's tragedy, but Sarah lives on. I think the reason why that Sarah is depicted
You
as
saying
being a
that we're getting
parallel to
copyrighted, so they will
Jesus,
say
or
Sarah
the
on the line.
Christianity parallels are said outright multiple times, is because Sarah was loved by many people, just like Jesus was, and also died an unfair death, and also seemed to have been resurrected in some form after this death. After Sarah's disappearance, the developers disperse and mostly forget about Chess.com. Citing the July 10th blog post from Mark, I believe Maddie, who we know
Jesus
also
cut,
at least
because
knows of Chess.com,
it had like
was
some
actually
similar
the one to
Jesus
give
stuff
Mark
in
the
there.
original file dump that led to the eventual creation of the Chess Kids archive. I think us specifically being told of this file dump and the line, "It won't be just in our memories anymore," highly suggests this theory. I don't know what else it could possibly be alluding to. This is why the December blog post.
Why is
Mark
this
Meeks
one
tells
the
of a
most
friend of
played
his
thing
claiming that
ever?
he made the Chess.com website.
Holy shit, we're gonna reach
He
it very
literally
soon.
has
That's
many
gonna be
of
the
his
most played
assets and
part of the
talks and
video.
asks about it so frequently that the connection from this friend is simply made.
Is
And
that the
who is
Agnets
person
gameplay?
that Mark cites as being able to back him up in this claim? His closest friend, Maddie, who literally helped him do it in the first place. Around the time Caleb is reminded of Chess.com by Mark, he agrees to an interview speaking on his time developing under Sarah on Chess.com. He doesn't consent to it being released to the public. Mark sets up a website and email and begins the Chess Kids archive. However, shortly after, Caleb disappears. This is when Mark says on his blog that things could be better. Later on, Caleb, either having had his body recovered or pronounced dead due to being missing for a prolonged time, is attributed in a post on Mark's blog. The reason why the phrase "nevermore" is associated with Mark can be traced back to The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. We know this because Nameless in his blog is a reference to this poem, and the poem speaks on grief and death, which is a topic that Mark is all too familiar with. Along with that, the key "The Raven" was used to solve a community post cipher, all but confirming the connection. Now that Caleb is gone, he can only continue the blog by posting on forums, asking if anyone else remembers and if they happen to have any footage saved of it. We know based on Mark's behavior that he may or may not be a frequent user of psychedelic drugs such as LSD, which may be a way to cope with the grief he's still working through. Mark doesn't seem to be alarmed by any of the things he sees in the footage he receives of Chess.com, probably assuming that it's just the drugs that he takes.
Bro, I'm so flabbergasted by the way the entire
To
time.
note that we do have conflicting
Edgar
dates
Allan
on
Poe,
both
the guy who
Sarah's
made the
disappearance and
crackhead
when the
lullaby.
website shut down.
Lullaby.
If you remember from Caleb's interview, he says that he doesn't know where someone got the 2005 date.
Wait,
and
that
she
was the
definitely
most
went missing
looked at
in
thing?
2004.
What?
I don't know where that ad got 2005
Why?
from, but I'm telling you, once the website disappeared,
What did they
so did
cracked up
her.
clown
So,
then?
yeah.
It is here that I believe Sarah, having not died a very justified death, is resurrected in the form of a ghost and goes on to haunt the Chess Kids website, and by extension, the Chess Kids archive. She also manipulates the information that both we and Mark end up seeing. I believe Sarah may also be responsible for the death and disappearance of Caleb and perhaps even more of the developers who Mark could not get into contact with.
Okay, that's very
as
far
Caleb
stretched.
disappeared shortly after holding an interview where he actively bashed Sarah for her actions and her mannerisms.
Criticizing the work of the team, and she's like, how dare you put something so unfinished and broken out for you to see? or something like that. And I mean, the rest of us, we didn't think much of it, but Sarah took it very personally. After the interview with OURB, it was only downhill from there.
And he cites that he has had a strange feeling of being watched, a theme in this ARG.
I'm
feeling watched too right now.
Feeling ever since I left. It might be the medication I got on around the same time, but this feeling of being watched, it's horrible.
This is where I believe the antagonistic entity of this series, the Alhenna channel, comes in. The channel seems to have a goal of showing the objective truth of the situation between Sarah and Harrison, and is actively making Sarah angrier and Mark more paranoid as a result. Mark specifically has a fear of being watched, and I think
always
Sarah
terrified.
and this Alhenna entity are both watching him very closely. Alhenna
Okay, so
aims to
I
shed
never
light on the
close
truth of the matter.
my
Both Sarah
my
and
blinds, by the
Harrison,
way.
lovers in death, were flawed.
So that
emotional
one
human
time,
beings. They both made mistakes. And
in the middle of the
have
night,
reasons for everything to have gone the way that it
somebody
did.
like
Alhenna
knocked on my
referring to
window,
Harrison as a
but
clown, the
it
one
was
who
just a
killed the
random
person he
guy,
loved most in
and
the world,
they
and hopped
asked
around
me,
burning to
like,
death
what are
after
you
he
doing?
had the audacity to try and get away with it.
They
It
went
is also
away
possible that
afterwards.
Alhenna as a group
Since
or
then, I'm
entity
traumatized.
Could also be interfering with the archive website, as there is definitely information there that neither Sarah nor Mark would want to be there and for us to see.
And now
And
I'm
Mark
scared to even
isn't
look in the
exactly
direction.
in a state of mind to be doing much about it. With all of that finally discussed, I think that our current main characters at play in this story are us, the audience, Mark, the owner of the archive, Sarah, the person haunting the archive, the other developers that we may not know the real fate
Sarah,
of,
the ghost,
and Alhenna, the antagonist of the series. The characters that I believe may be relevant in the very near future are Sally, Ellen Masterson, and Maddie. Even now, I have a few question marks left in my head. I don't really know what the blue heart means, what the significance of this oil can character is, why these chess pieces have relevance in the story at all, what really happened to Caleb and the other developers, what really happened to Sarah and Harrison, and many other things.
I don't want to know that
It is important
actually.
to note that the entire timeline/theory I just proposed is heavily based on just that, theories and speculation, albeit theories with some evidence. And at the end of the day, this ARG is just simply not finished. It's not done. If you, the person watching this right now, want to be a part of uncovering this beautiful mystery, then I encourage you to follow Chess Kids on Twitter and on YouTube and keep up to date with the story as it happens from now on. The owner of the project is very thankful for all of the support the series receives and will gladly accept any contributions you have to make to the community. If you're interested in watching my blind reaction to the series as well, you can catch the stream where I did so.
Creepy.
Archived
We
in
had
my
a
live
fox
tab.
once screaming outside my window like a dying woman, but a human is way scarier.
With that, I've
I had like
finally
cats
run out
screaming
of
outside.
things
It
to
was
say.
kind of weird.
This is my longest project I've ever done so far, and it took me weeks of researching, writing, and editing. I'd like to thank Bluebird for recommending this series to me, who made
Man, this guy, by the way, is insane. Whatever he makes, those videos are sick. I think I watched like multiple of that. You like, truly look at that videos for me. The surprisingly dark lore of Vapor. Like, holy actual shit, nah, man. Nah. Look at, he makes even game theory videos. I'm not into that, man. I'm pooped now. I'm pooped to sleep. I'm pooped to sleep. Nah. Guys. Where's my background? I ended up in the void. Why is that happening in the background? What is this? 8 hours of waves? What do you mean is that 8 hours of waves? Refresh that shit. There's an ad running in my background right now. What is happening? Look at it. Lenovo. Our game theory is really good. Sarah cursed my damn PC. Wir wollen, dass ich Lenovo kaufe. Okay, guys, I have a plan. Where am I going now? I'm scared, man. No, same problem again, okay? I am scaring myself, okay? There was nothing scary about that shit. Let me tell you, I'm just scaring myself again. Somehow, I'm terrified. Why am I terrified? I don't know. Wait a second. Who can we wait? I don't know who I can wait. Digimon, was nice knowing you. It's fine. I go to heaven now. I go Jesus myself. But I know Olli. VR. Olli the Wolf VR. I'm pretty sure he's still alive. Yep, I know Olli. But I want to always find like new people, that's why. Let me see. Here is someone that I found over Twitter. Let me see. Are they even there? I don't know if they're there. I'm scared. Whoa. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it took me a minute to remember how it goes. Whoa, my freaking microphone is farting. Okay. I have a plan, okay? I have a good plan. I'm gonna go to my channel and I'm gonna go over here and press on just chatting. GG Schweiz. Whoa. Can't believe Sarah made your microphone. Yeah, but Sarah's crazy. She's taking over everything. Now I'm not scared anymore. That joke for some reason made me like good again. that one. It reactivated me. Let's go for another one, guys. We can go like let's go for like a 24-hour stream. Then let's go to Rock 2 together. Not the dwarf guy. We don't have enough time. I don't know who to wait though. Why do I never have someone to wait, man? Wait, did Olli just end it? No. Am I not a good singer? Germa. Who's Germa? Okay, I have a good plan. We gonna give up on life. And we gonna... Oh my god, I'm so lazy. Wait a second. Okay, give me 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes. Stop. 2 minutes, okay? Chill. No, you're not in. You're not in. Wait, I'm chill. I am cooking. I am not cooking. 2 minutes. No, it's 1 minute and 50 seconds. You're going way too far. Okay, 2 minutes is way too long. 2 minutes is way too far. I don't understand. What am I looking at, man? Wait. I think I got it. No, I didn't. Whoa, there are like 5 people. How am I so undecisive? Is there randomly? Wait. Oh no, that's okay. Yeah, we wait, Ollie. We wait, Ollie, guys. I'm too lazy. I'm too damn lazy. Guys, we're going in. Say hello. They're playing Zenless Zone Zero right now. Okay, that is there. Remember, don't tell him about Sarah. Okay, it's important. We go over. We say hello. And I go to sleep. I wish you a good one. We're gonna see us tomorrow. 5 people. I know 5 people is a lot of options, but all of those 5 people I rated before. Oh wait, I rated only before 2. Anti-spiral. Wait, before, I think I found something. I think I might be cooking. No, I'm not cooking. I'm decooking myself. No, I'm decooking myself. Guys, am I raining in a second? I'm de-whiting it. De-whiting. What did I just said? I'm de-waiting. De-waiting. Well, okay, I got this, guys. I don't know what you guys are going crazy about. I got this shit. Roulette wheel. Ah, no, I got this. I got that. Should I just give up and wait no one? Guys, today I'm too scared to wait people. I'm gonna leave you. Now let's go to Mish Lab. I don't know what they're playing. They're playing like Pacific Drive or something. I don't know what it is. At least we're waiting someone, you know. I don't know what Pacific Drive is, but it looks funny. It looks like they're driving in a Pacific. So we're going over. They're pretty funny. They rated me once. Rate your boy Pacific Rim. Whoa, why do you know that the person is playing Pacific Drive? What the heck? That's crazy, Nikog. You're so smart. We're gonna see us tomorrow. Okay. We're gonna do more of that stuff tomorrow. But wait, which day is tomorrow? Thursday or Friday? I think Friday. What was my plan for Friday? Subnautica 2. Remember that, Subnautica. Drawing and Subnautica, yeah. I'm so excited, you don't believe me. The excitement in my voice is... I'm so happy to be able to be scared again. Good night.